no steer and snorting to rep a grand champion team. Hey, look, this is the marquee game, but it's not the Lone Star on a sizzling Saturday. A&M's at #1 Clemson. Buckeyes hosting upstart Cincinnati. But deep in the heart, Big Bertha's ready to bang the drum for LSU and Texas. We've got music, megastars. Only thing hotter than this ticket is the weather. Triple digits by kickoff. Hey, we're going to find out if Texas is back. But look at this scene. We know Texas is hot.
Good morning, Austin.
Everybody keep it locked where you got it. Gameday is in your city. Get your weekend started. California atmosphere. Live crowd on fire. Energy in the air.
We cross the state of Turkey there. College football night. Get fired up with that party day.
Turn the kick off, y'all. It's
College game day.
if you want a little bang in your yeah. In your zing zang. Shang shang, come along. Come along. Come along. Yeah. Well, we're coming. Now we're coming to your city.
College Game Day, live from Austin, Texas, is built by the Home Depot, proud sponsor of college football's premier pregame show.
DKR tonight. Boy, they're hoping that tower's going to be orange by the time the Longhorns finish with LSU.
Oh, look at that. Wow. That is awesome.
First time ever.
Ever.
Ever. First time ever.
That is insane.
Hey, wow,
They
man.
do everything big in Texas.
That's it.
When this used to be a quiet, sleepy atmosphere, yeah, I don't either. Not after this. Man, they've turned this whole thing into a festival, and what a scene for LSU in Texas. College Game Day, back in Austin for the first time in 10 years. Kirk Herbstreit, Lee Corso, and Desmond Howard.
Yes, sir.
40th anniversary of ESPN. Among the first words spoken by Lee Leonard said, if you're a fan, you might think this is sports heaven. This might be college football heaven right now.
Oh, man, it's just,
The
hey,
Mecca.
let me tell you one thing. This is one of my favorite game day spots. Beautiful town, beautiful people, and 6th Street music, the best. Yeah, 6th Street music.
You said 10 years. Think about these college students 10 years ago. They're 9, 10 years old. The last time, like that little guy, the last time college game. In fact, it was 09. Colt McCoy was the quarterback of the team, and they were on their way to play Alabama in a national championship. It was the last time Game Day was here. So we are fired up to be here.
I tell you what, it might be the college football mecca. Great football, excellent fans, and just the best barbecue you'll find anywhere. I love coming to Austin, baby.
And we experienced some of that last night.
Yes, sir.
For sure. You know, the one thing I will caution you, though, they had like 18 straight days during training camp of over 100 degrees, and it's going to reach that by kickoff.
Yeah.
I've heard rumors that the Seminoles have trouble hydrating.
Yeah,
You make sure.
Yeah, exactly.
You make sure you drink plenty of water today. Hey, it's going to be a great day of football for sure as we get the Saturday slate
actually,
cranked up.
noon, right after college game day, noon on ABC, Ohio State and Cincinnati. Luke Fickell, former Ohio State player, played there, started for 4 years, was an assistant coach at Ohio State. Nobody knows Ohio State better than Luke Fickell. Well, he's now down at Cincinnati, coming off a big year last year, and now he's bringing a veteran bunch in with a good offense and a tenacious defense against the Ohio State Buckeyes and Justin Fields, but it's the Buckeye defense to watch today against that UC offense. Should be a great game at noon Eastern.
Nebraska at Colorado. Last year against Colorado, Nebraska had over 500 yards of total offense, and they were led by Adrian Martinez, the quarterback. Well, he's back. Ladies and gentlemen, so is Nebraska. Go Big Red.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch that game. USC and Stanford battle of the backups. JT Daniels tore his ACL and his meniscus a week ago against Fresno State. Keaton Slovis came in, a freshman quarterback. Make sure you look for that guy right there, Tyler Barnes. He's an excellent receiver. And then Stanford, KJ Costello, head injury, is not going to play today. They're going to back up David Mills, battle of the backups
It's
today.
one of those days you just sit back and enjoy ABC. It's a triple header. Here's the 3:30 game. Texas A&M and Kellen Mond with an offense that put over 400 yards passing last year against Clemson. I think Brent Venables has been fired up for 8 months to get another chance at that offense. Different defensive line. That'll be the challenge. We know Trevor Lawrence is going to put up big numbers today with a balanced, explosive attack for the Tigers.
And tonight on ABC, LSU did it. Offense out of the Stone Age. Look at all those receivers. Got the ball to playmakers in space, so you know what that means. The Texas DBs are going to have to live up to saying they're the one and only DBU if they're going to prove Sam Ehlinger correct. We're back.
I don't really find him too much as a threat. I mean, not taking a shot at him, but he uses his legs more than his arm.
Oh.
Caleb Von Chason said, I'm not taking a shot at him. Yeah.
Just did.
And, you know, then he backed it up. Hey, he didn't walk away from it. He said, I mean what I say, and I say what I mean.
That's right.
Here's the Saturday slate. How many of you guys hoping the Aggies beat Clemson today? Clemson's been winning big. You see a couple of ranked teams, underdogs and unranked teams. The Bear, Chris Felica, will tell you what that means in a little bit. And the Bison with their home opener today. Hey, look, we've heard Sam Ehlinger say it over and over. Texas back.
Yeah.
You have to define what that means. What is the big picture at stake for Texas and LSU?
I tell you what, RD, first it starts with this crowd. Longhorns, stand up. Longhorns, stand up. Represent. They're going to be the 12th man tonight. I mean, it's going to be big. I was talking to the SID, John Bianco. He said this is the biggest game since 2006 when we played the Ohio State Buckeyes. This game is going to give them the national credibility that they've been searching for. Don't forget, the last time they played an SEC team that we respect was the Georgia Bulldogs, and they went out and handled their business against Georgia. Now here comes the LSU Tigers, another team that people respect. If Texas is back, it starts tonight by beating LSU. And then LSU, too, they got something to prove. They're not up there on the level of Alabama and Georgia. This is a big game for the Tigers, too, Coach.
Yeah, parity in college football is back. Arizona, Purdue, Florida State, and Missouri all lost to non-Power 5 conference. Mountain West.
Yeah,
Mountain West. I say, break up the Mountain West.
Yeah.
They're killing us. Break up the Mountain West.
There's that old Boise State team. They found a way. I got my Boise State blue one today. They were good last night again on the second half. But I think it's an interesting week as far as week one. We all of a sudden want to jump to conclusions. You know, if you watch Florida State last week, speaking of Boise State, they fell apart in that second half. They get an opportunity to try to kind of right their ship. Tennessee, the way they played against Georgia State in their first game, a chance to get back against BYU today. And then there's teams that, how do they handle a little bit of success early? Auburn tonight, a little bit of a tricky game. Found a way to have a miracle win at the end against Oregon. Now they play Tulane, kind of a team that's easy to kind of look past. Tulane's a dangerous team. So how teams handle week one, I think, will be interesting to watch today.
Did you listen closely to what Desmond said?
I did.
You hear what he said?
What?
12th man?
Yeah. And
12th man?
And they let that slide, too.
They did.
They let it slide, too. But you would bring that back up.
Of course I would.
That's a foul.
By the way, we got a little $100 question right here. I think Ohio State's got its hands full today.
I agree.
Cincinnati.
Oh, no.
Who is the last team from Ohio to beat Ohio State?
Miami.
I'm going to say nobody.
Nobody.
Cincinnati.
Nobody.
Cincinnati.
That is incorrect. The Yeomen of Oberlin in 1921
Oh, Jesus.
beat the Buckeyes 7-6.
That was
the only time?
Hey, that was
No,
before.
it's not the only time. Cincinnati
Okay.
beat them back in the 90s, the
Yeah, yeah.
1890s.
Oh, that's
That
right.
was before I was on
1890s, yeah.
Game Day.
I knew
I was
Cincy
on
got
Game
'em.
Day the year before that.
Oh, were
Yeah.
How was that Oberlin crowd back in the day?
crowd.
As good as Texas?
Ooh.
Hey, we're going to hear from Ryan Day. Kirk's got a conversation with Sam Ehlinger coming up. Plenty ahead on College Game Day. And that game I'm talking about with Ohio State and Cincinnati follows College Game Day over on ABC. Noon Eastern Time, 11 Central Time. Bearcats, careful, Ohio State.
yeah.
Inside College Game Day after a freshman season for the ages, Clemson's Trevor Lawrence. Year 2 is a different thing. Tom Rinaldi visits with the Tigers superstar. We'll tell you why he has to do his grocery shopping late. Plus, this incredible story of a blood brother. USC offensive lineman Austin Jackson redefines what it means to protect.
This is something that I can't pass up. This is like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I can only imagine how many siblings wish they could do something like this for their sibling.
And Academy Award winner, Texas X, and the Minister of Culture, Matthew McConaughey, will join us to be our celebrity guest picker. What a scene in Austin.
man.
Can't wait to see McConaughey. Guess who else is coming? The Undertaker. Make his way.
Bevo's here. Bevo made it.
Gene Wojciechowski's going to tell you about the mascot that might want to match up with Bevo.
No way.
Hey,
about that.
head-to-head.
Yes, sir.
Great scene for College Game Day.
College Game Day is built by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. And in part by Midas. Always a touch better.
Texas has opened a new Athletics Hall of Fame, did it right at the end of August. This is a program that has won 55 national championships across all sports, hundreds of conference titles, and produced nearly 200 Olympians. A lot of proud Texas students, fans, and alums here on the LBJ lawn as we welcome in David Pollock here.
All right, now, kid. All right.
You know what
Yes,
else?
sir.
You know what else Texas is known for?
What's that?
Well, Friday Night Lights, right?
Oh, yeah.
Coach
yes,
Eric
sir.
Taylor, Smash
Oh, that's
Williams.
right.
Exactly.
And we got it in Boise instead against Marshall.
Under the
Remember
blue.
Matthew McConaughey
little
played
bit of-
Jack Lang when we are Marshall.
A little bit of a slow start, right? And then they
A lot of it.
And I think part of that also was some of Marshall. Marshall's not that bad a team, and what they accomplished last week against Florida State.
All you were looking for there was we were talking about whether Boise State was going to be the best group of 5 team. Doc Holliday displeased after Isaiah Green is picked off by Keikoa Namahine. And Boise State won it 14-7. Former Texas coach Mac Brown leads North Carolina against former Texas defensive coordinator Manny Diaz. Mac's latest rebuilding job off to a good start, and the cornerstone is hope.
Mac Brown has made the team believe in ourselves.
Mac Brown is the godfather.
I think the biggest thing that everybody would say is have fun, enjoy the journey. And it's one thing I didn't do always. I'm going to make sure that I enjoy this journey.
He told us he was going to make upgrades to the facilities, and 2 months later, he came through with his promises. It's going to work because players want to play for Coach Brown.
And Mac Brown can celebrate a win as North Carolina upsets South Carolina.
Proud of the guys. These guys have had a tough time, and for them to win this game is such a great win for those kids.
People are talking about Carolina football right now, so we want to get Carolina football back to where it should be.
Coming here, I'm having fun. I'm going to make sure that I enjoy this journey.
Hey,
They love Mac. They love him.
you think Mac learned to dance down on 6th Street here in Austin?
I bet he did a time or two.
Hey, you know what? Mac's trying to knock him off one former coordinator at a time. He got Will Muschamp last week. I remember Manny Diaz was here. Mac fired him after a game against BYU in 2013. By the way, the man Mac replaced, Larry Fedora, is now an offensive analyst here in Texas. Everything's all connected. What about North Carolina today against Miami? Does Mac have a good chance to make it 2-0?
Well, that will be now we got to get them back together because now, first of all, the buy-in's there now. Like, Mac Brown just won himself his team. And I say that, listen, I know South Carolina's not going to be a world beater this year. We're always looking for that new coach. You're hearing the voice, Kirk, and you're hearing everything he's saying, but you're like, I don't really, maybe he's right. Defensively, they were in the right spots. It was awesome. So now, can they get the emotions back together? This is a more talented Miami team they're going to play this week. How about the quarterback freshman? All of a sudden, he looked like a freshman. And then all of a sudden, he starts throwing the ball over the yard. So can they get back up again? It'll be interesting to watch.
Well, you guys know when you're building a program up, part of it is changing the culture, getting them to know how to win. It's one thing to have a, oh my gosh, moment, and he's crying at the end of the game, which is great. But Mac could be the first one to tell you, he's inheriting a team that's not used to consistency. So this week will be as big of a challenge as anything he faces all year because they're playing a Miami team. Everybody, the parents, students on campus, everybody's giving them this, and now they got to get ready for a Miami team that's kind of in a desperate need of a win after the way they played against Florida, now back getting into ACC play.
Yeah, you hit on a good point. You said changing the culture. When I'm looking at UNC, this is a veteran team that now they know they can win a close game. They know that they can come back from behind. But the flip side is you look at Miami, they don't know that. They had a game in hand against the Florida Gators 2 weeks ago, and they let it slip away. So you're talking about a young team with a new head coach, Manny Diaz, that's still trying to figure it out, see if they can win a close game. They gave that one up against Florida. Let's see how they come out after a bye week and play the Tar Heels.
And Des, can they protect Darren Williams?
Huge.
That left tackle. I mean, true freshman, he's probably going to be a great player, but he's young. I don't know. Are they going to chip?
Yes.
Because Carolina can put pressure on the quarterback.
That's big. That's big. You're right.
All right, game comes up on the ACC Network tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. See if Mac can go 2-0. Oh, the old snake pit. Maryland, Syracuse, and Maryland at noon Eastern following College Game Day. You know what? The line has moved all over the place with this one. I think we've got the home team Maryland, Bear. They're a favorite now. What's happened with this Syracuse-Maryland line here, Bear?
Well, yeah, the line is totally flipped to Maryland, and it's one of those games where you look at everyone's so used to looking at the AP rank to determine what an upset is. But with Maryland as a favorite, this would not be an upset. And everyone, how often does this happen? An unranked team is favored. And I kind of narrowed it down into like a really focused note here. Like if you look at those fringe top 25 teams ranked 20th through 25th that are underdogs to an unranked team, there have been 23 of them in the last 5 years. The unranked teams have won 19 of the 23.
Whoa. So heavy lean for Maryland.
That trend would indicate that pay attention to the Maryland -2 as opposed to 22 for the Syracuse ranking.
So he said all that to pick Maryland?
Probably.
Hey, Texas, do they really want any more Maryland?
I don't think so.
the last 2 years. Maryland, let me tell you, Maryland's trying to light the wick right now and whack Syracuse before they get to Clemson next week.
And you know who's kind of gotten forgotten here is Josh Jackson,
the quarterback
from Virginia Tech. He's settling into Mike Locksley's system. Anthony McFarland, you could argue, is one of the top backs, if not the top back in the Big Ten. So that's a heck of a combination with Mike Locksley calling the plays. Syracuse better be focused this week, not thinking about next week in Clemson.
There's some serious game day implications with the Syracuse and Maryland game coming up. You know, we didn't have, the only ranked team we had to lose last week was Oregon, who lost to Auburn, that game that Kirk referenced earlier. Tigers better not be riding too high on that one. Old Willie Fritz and LSU transfer quarterback Justin McMillan rolling into the plains today. Auburn, one of the teams, better be careful.
Absolutely. I mean, this is an Auburn team that is going to have to handle prosperity. And Bo Nix is a true freshman. I mean, it wasn't great throughout most of the game. And then Seth Williams ends up making a play at the end, an emotional scene. Gus Malzahn is fired up. The Auburn defense came to play. How about the adjustments that Kevin Steele made after the early part of that game? They really settled in. But, guys, here comes maybe even a bigger challenge with what they can do on offense. Tulane can throw it around with Justin McMillan, who came over from LSU. He's got great receivers.
How about Army in Michigan? Army sputtered last week against Rice. Finally, an 18-play drive at the end of the game. Took 9 minutes off the clock. touchdown pass, Kelvin Hopkins to Kel Walker. But then Michigan, the first play of the game, Shea Patterson fumbles the ball too. Neither offense looked sharp a week ago, but Michigan looked good in the passing game when they threw the ball to Nico Collins and Tariq Black.
An offense that hasn't looked sharp in years. Michigan State. This is an offense that has to get going.
You said years.
Western Michigan. Lewerke looked okay, but the defense, we know they're going to show up absolutely 100% every single week. You can hang your hat. But the challenge this week will be John Watson. That dude went 20 and 25 last week. He can throw the football all over the yard if he can stay upright.
UCF.
What do you think about that?
On the road at FAU, Brandon Wimbush threw a couple of touchdown passes. He better watch out for the freshman Dylan Gabriel, same high school as Mackenzie Milton, come to the FAU. Lane Kiffin not just dialing up ball plays. That defense was pretty good after the first quarter against Ohio State. They're going to see if they can frazzle Wimbush. The fans are ready. You know what that is? That's FAU fans who burned a night in effigy in anticipation of this UCF-FAU game where UCF's about a 10-point favorite. David, UCF, this is a pay-attention slate.
Yes.
They're vulnerable?
Well, UCF just won by 62. Why on earth would they be vulnerable? I mean, they set the world on fire.
Playing a better team?
Listen, Brandon Wimbush came from Notre Dame. He looked it was 50% of his passes last week. It didn't look good. They ran the ball whatever they wanted to do. UCF definitely is going to have to find themselves throughout this season. I think UCF better be careful today. Lane Kiffin's defense looked good last week.
After the first quarter.
After the first quarter.
Yeah.
This could be interesting.
I tell you what, you talked about Sparty and Brian Lewerke, the quarterback for Michigan State. All reports coming out of camp saying he was having a fantastic camp. They returned 9 starters on offense. I expected them to have an explosive offense out the gate. For them to struggle the way they have this early is not a good sign. They're going to win this game today against Western Michigan, but at some point, because the defense is outstanding, but at some point, the offense has to catch up with the defense.
And real quick to Bear, he's got something to follow up on the Michigan State offense that we keep talking about.
You're right. You go back, dating back to last year, we're talking Rutgers, Nebraska, and even Tulsa. Last 5 games, 71 drives, 3 offensive touchdowns.
Think about that.
3.
Yeah.
How about this? Compare what Michigan State did. And look, Martin Antonio is about to become the winningest coach at Michigan State ever.
Yeah.
But he just rearranged the deck chairs on offense as opposed to what Orgeron did.
Instead of making changes.
You know, at LSU, who's overhauled the thing.
Yeah, a guy who's been the offensive coordinator now is still on the staff, but he's no longer calling the plays. Salem moves in to calling the plays. That is different.
Yeah.
As you say, rearranging the lawn chairs instead of making a big change. I just want to real quick to say about Tulane, because I do think Tulane has what it takes. Will Hall has come over from Memphis. He's the new offensive coordinator. Tulane has weapons. This quarterback, Justin McMillan, can run. He can throw. Auburn, Kevin Steele, we know how good he is. But if it's a sleepy night at Jordan-Hare because they're just not expecting much from Tulane, you can watch this in the second half and they're holding on to try to get out of there with a win.
Yeah. Bear, you got something on this. Auburn's not great in this spot, right?
No, I think it's the last 7 games outside of SEC opponents they've been favored. They haven't covered. There's another interesting, we talk about these, be careful type of games.
Yeah.
What about the team that pulled the biggest upset last week, Georgia State?
Yes, sir.
They're only a touchdown favorite over Furman, who's a really good FCS team. So Georgia State might want to be careful today, avoid that FCS, FBS.
Bear, when you look at slate of games, you go all the way down to Georgia State and Furman.
Why wouldn't you?
That's a crap.
He's got look at these.
You got to fill that board.
Give me one, Bear. Give me the Blazers and the Zips.
That was a result last week. I don't know if people were paying attention. UAB, they needed a kickoff return for a touchdown to beat Alabama State. And Akron got blown out against Illinois, 42-3. But I think in the home opener, Tom Arth's home opener for the Akron Zips today.
Atta baby.
I need to appreciate that.
There you go.
I think they'll play better. UAB, I don't know if their offensive woes are easily solved. 9 seems like a lot of points. I don't know if Akron wins outright, but I'll take the Zips plus the 9.
Somebody might be feeling a super dog right there.
I'm just saying.
You know what? I hate it when it looks like I'm copying the Bear.
You are.
Change. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Recognizing those who strive to rise above the rest, Goodyear is more driven. This is the place to be in college football on this morning. We've got a great Sports Center coming up. Sports Center from Los Angeles after Stanford, USC. You see what's at stake there. Plenty coming from the U.S. Open as well. It's all on ESPN and the app as we welcome in Maria Taylor.
Hey, Reese, how's it going? I talked to some fans back here. They said they've been camping out since 10 o'clock last night. You guys are the real MVPs. Yes, you are. Coming up on College Game Day, we have a lot for them to stay excited about because we're going all access with the Texas Longhorns as they got prepared for LSU. So we're going to have Tom Herman mic'd up and maybe find out that game plan. And we've been asking players and coaches who their spirit animal is. You'd be surprised who Joe Burrow went with.
Any time period? Pterodactyl. Uses his talons to eat very large things on the ground.
So he's talking about Bevo. That's just for you guys. Very large things on the ground. And in the spirit of tradition, I learned how the Longhorns traditionally walk out for their home games from a starting linebacker, Jeffrey McCulloch. Take a look.
So tell me, in 24 hours, when you're running out, you pass this goalpost, you see purple and gold over here, what are you going to be thinking?
Please kill it. That's my mindset. I'm out to inflict as much pain as possible. That's what linebackers do. Ready to be a general of the defense and lead my team to a victory.
And what would a win for Texas in week 2, Big 12 SEC top 10 matchup, what does it mean on this
Same
field?
as every other win. Goes on schedule as another win. You want to know. That's our mentality.
And he was the defensive coordinator on that 2003 national title team, and of course, former coach in waiting here in Texas. As we check in at Section 0 here, sharing a Coke with our friends in Burnt Orange, the Texas fans. You know, when this home-and-home game was agreed to, Texas and LSU, the coaches Les Miles and Charlie Strong. 2014, there's been a lot of connections between the two and a lot of changes. 2016, LSU had Les, and after a loss to Auburn, they decided to fire him after the 4th game. Coach O named interim head coach. Later on in November, Texas 5-7, they fired Charlie Strong. Note the time, 10:37 in the morning. Same day, a little later, Ed O announced as LSU head coach because the Tigers have been pursuing Tom Herman and realized that he preferred Texas, which is where he is now. Tom Herman, wired.
Go! Let's go! Ah! Oh, ah!
If it's quarters, okay, and you know you're going to throw the pause, I mean, it can just be a punch because here's the key. That quarter safety is actually reading the tight end and the running back.
It's best out of 3 for 10 up downs. 10 up downs.
Look at the sign. Tom Herman did have eyes only for Texas, as it turns out, and his offense has really fit Sam Ehlinger.
If you think about Tom Herman and what he grew his reputation on, it was having success as a play caller, having success as an offensive coordinator first at Ohio State. He goes down to Houston. He got Houston going with his offense. What he was able to establish as a head coach at Houston, he was able to develop leadership and to show how he could affect an entire team. That's what I think Texas fell in love with. So he comes to Austin, and he's literally in the middle of the process of developing culture. And we had a chance, Reese and I and our crew calling the game, had a chance to sit down, not just with Tom Herman, but his players, his assistant coaches. Man, you can just tell that in his 3rd year, people are completely buying in. And this is a big test. I know they beat Georgia, but for them to go where they feel, and these fans feel that this is where they should be every year. Because from 2000 to 2009, they were an Alabama type of program. They are buying in, and tonight they get the ultimate test against the SEC power and LSU to see really where this culture is.
Well, the winner of this game gets a leg up on the playoff race.
Yes.
But the loser, Des, must run the table if they want to get to the
Lot at
playoffs.
stake.
This is a big ball game early in the season.
Huge game. And I love them. I wish more teams would play games like this. You know,
it's worth it.
When you look at LSU, though, this is a big game for their offense. Don't forget that Coach O went out and got Joe Brady. Now, Joe Brady is a coach who's now the passing game coordinator because he's pretty much bringing that offense out of the Stone Ages. They're going to spread Texas out. They're going to let Joe Burrow throw the ball all over the yard. I want to see now if Texas DBs is this DBU.
Yeah.
I want to see it. Tonight is put up or shut up time because they're going to be tested in the back end.
Sure are.
George Whitfield's going to join us a little later on. A closer look at what Joe Brady has incorporated in that passing game with Joe Burrow, the LSU quarterback. Look at Bevo staring longingly into the eyes of the College Football Playoff National Championship Trophy presented by Dr. Pepper. You know what a perfect day here in Austin would be? If the Aggies lose to Clemson on ABC at 3:30 Eastern this afternoon. This is the first of an A&M gauntlet. They play number 1, 2, 3, 6, and 10
How about that?
in the current AP poll. And you remember last year, this was a tie game. We called this game, Kirk.
Kelly Bryant actually
He
had
saved
the
them.
big game
Yeah.
early in the year and brought the Tigers back to win it. When I remember walking out of that stadium as Kellen Mond, throwing for over 400 yards against that Clemson defense, came down to the moments late in the game.
That was a big play. A&M missed a chance to score. They forced a 3 and out, got it right back. Mond threw the touchdown pass, and they needed the 2-point conversion to perhaps force overtime, and did not get it. Clemson has been waiting for the opportunity for redemption. But those 5 games I mentioned for A&M, if they somehow go 3-2 in those games, they stay close in all of them, assuming no other losses, they would merit strong consideration for a spot in the college football playoff, even with 2 losses. Yeah, I know you don't like it, but it's true. Kellen Mond put up the best performance QBR-wise of any quarterback against a Dabo Swinney coach team at Clemson, and the Tigers are ready for another shot.
Mond, pressure from the backside, avoids it over the middle, thrown, touchdown Aggies!
He can throw, he's got a huge arm. We won't see anybody that's better than him all year.
I don't have any doubt we'll see the best version of Kellen Mond.
You got a guy like Kellen Mond operating that offense and a coach like Jimbo Fisher. It's hard for anybody.
Rolling right to the end zone. Intercepted.
They're going to make plays. They're a very good team.
It's a great challenge, a great opportunity. If you want to be the best, you have to play the best.
If we be who we are, we living up to the moment.
Knowing that they're number 1, but we believe we can play with any team in the country. We don't really crack. We wait for the other team to crack.
There will be an upset.
Guaranteed, Jimbo said after that. Who said that? Jared better play well, I'll tell you that right now. Trevor Lawrence against Georgia Tech last week. Hey, look, the expectations are so high. I don't know how in the world you could ever meet them, but with no blitz, that's where he threw his 2 interceptions. This matchup would seem to favor Clemson with some of the inexperience in A&M secondary.
No, you're right about that. And you look at Clemson's wideouts. I mean, these guys are NFL caliber talent when you look at them play. But Trevor Lawrence, he has to make sure his pre-snap reads are on point. I think that's where Georgia Tech defensively, they fooled him on the back end. That's what caused him so many issues. I expect that the A&M's defensive coordinator is going to come out and try to do the same thing, try to give them some different looks, some funky blitzes. Watch the back end, coach, see if they can take advantage of that.
To contain Clemson, A&M is going to have to play a near-perfect game defensively and force turnovers. Now, here's a good sign. They had 4 interceptions last week. That's the first time in 13 years they had 4 interceptions in the game. That's a good sign for A&M, boy.
Mike Elko, the defense coordinator, very complex scheme. Here's the thing. Lost his top 6 tacklers from a year ago. This is an A&M team that could win at home. Struggled on the road. 1 in 3 on the road. Talking about changing culture, Jimbo Fisher still trying to teach his team how to go on the road, and with a defense facing Trevor Lawrence and that balanced, explosive attack, tall order for that defense to slow down the Tigers.
ABC, 3:30 Eastern. Aggies may go with 2 new cornerbacks. Let's see. Mike Elko gave him a little problem last year. All right, here in Austin on this beautiful morning, the Pizza Hut fan cam providing fans with a look at the scene of College Game Day. And what a scene it is indeed as we check in with Maria.
I'm over here at the House of Pie with Barb and Dave Wright. And how about this? They're recently retired, and their plan is to follow College Game Day on every single stop. So what made you decide that this is what you guys wanted to do this year?
Well, we retired just recently, and we wanted to see America, and how better to travel than to follow Game Day, and that's our game plan. We want to hit all the back roads of America, and with this kind of environment, how do you beat it?
You literally can't beat it. And Barb, what's the trip been like? And you're not going home at all, so what has it been like for you so far?
It's been one adventure after another.
All right, they're from Newport, Oregon. They've been with us to Disney World. You've been with us to Dallas. They made their way to Austin, and they said they're going to find out where they're going next when we finally announce it. So we're excited to have a home team fan that's that dedicated. It's pretty impressive.
And how
that is incredible.
I think we ought to follow them every little segment every week.
Seriously. They put their Christmas tree up, so it'll be up when they get back home. They know they're not going back.
just told me they were doing this. It's incredible. So, you like the mascot matchup? Mike versus Bevo, ferocious animals. Gene Wojciechowski sizes them up as only he can. And Herb Street's going to size up Sam Ehlinger and all of those critics that somehow Sam accumulates.
I don't really find him too much as a threat.
You know, at the University of Texas, there's a lot of outside noise, negative and positive. Really take it one day at a time.
You know who's coming now. The Undertaker. Can he put the Bayou Bengals underground?
At Midas.
That's tough. Any animal.
I would say a lion. I grew up watching The Lion King. What the lion represents, you know, I feel represents myself too.
On one hand, you'd like to be able to fly. There's not a lot of flying animals.
Any time period? Pterodactyl uses its talons to eat very large things on the ground.
The bald eagle. I mean, they're the animal of America.
It would be cool to fly.
Probably a direwolf.
Probably a grizzly or a tiger, you know, top of the food chain.
Probably a grizzly bear. They're big, they eat a lot of fish.
A tiger. Tiger at heart. They're just mean, tough, and nasty, man. And that's something that defines me as a player.
Yeah. Well, there's some out here, a few, who think that Mike is their spirit animal, but most of them love Bevo. Bevo, the beloved mascot here, has been for generations. This young Bevo loves to be around people, the people who take care of Bevo, the Silver Spurs. It's an honorary men's organization. Sam Ehlinger's father, Ross, was a Silver Spur. Sam himself is. It's an honor to be able to don that Silver Spur uniform, reserved only for the most respected people on campus, and I guess apparently Gene Wojciechowski too.
Reese, I've got Spurs, I've got a Texas-sized belt buckle, I've got the hat partner. Yeah, there are 100 Silver Spurs, 101 if you want to count me. But when you talk about the Mount Rushmore of college mascots, well, there's 4. There's Ralphie at Colorado, there's Uga at Georgia, there's Mike the Tiger at LSU, and of course, there's Reveille at Texas A&M. No, I'm kidding, Bevo. I'm kidding, Bevo. Look, whenever there's that argument for number 1, it always goes back to the battle, bovine versus feline.
History is defined by great rivalries. Sparta versus Athens, Wile E. Coyote versus the Roadrunner, Kanye versus Taylor Swift. But when it comes to college football mascots, nothing inspires a trash-talking rivalry like LSU's Mike the Tiger versus Texas's Bevo.
He's the best damn mascot because
he's a tiger and he's from Louisiana.
He could eat all the other mascots. It's pretty simple.
We're talking about apex predator versus a livestock animal. It's kind of obvious.
Mike the Tiger probably weighs somewhere around 400 pounds. If Mike came at Bevo head on, he's going to send Mike to the moon.
Bevo definitely have to be number 1. Yeah, there's no question.
What would you say to the people who think Mike the Tiger is a more iconic mascot than Bevo? Sports Illustrated actually just named Georgia's Bulldog Uga as the greatest mascot in college football history. Bevo wasn't pleased.
Uga on his way to meet Bevo. This is like a man walking on the moon.
Oh,
shoot! Oh, my Lord!
I remember it as, wow, if this is the way this game started, we're going to win it.
Texas, never trailed, knocks off number 5, Georgia.
In Texas, everything's bigger is better, and he's a prime example of that.
Who's going to match up at that speed, at that size?
Oh, we've got measurables. And we have Mel Kiper.
How about Bevo, hook 'em horns? Think about getting movement, getting leverage. Then you got Mike the Tiger, quick twitch paws, gets up to 40, 45 miles an hour.
I would like to think they would get along.
Absolutely hates LSU, especially this week. He'll be fired up, and when he comes through that smoke, he'll be ready to go.
If you were going to give Mike the Tiger a little piece of mascot advice,
transfer to Texas.
Bevo had some advice too. Watch where you walk.
Bevo.
You know, Oscar Westerman, who's one of the Silver Spurs, says everyone has a lion and a tiger and a bear, but there's only one Bevo. And, you know, we asked our bear to set a line, a betting line between Bevo and Mike the Tiger, and Bear said Bevo favored by 4.5 points, Reese.
I think that might be right in keeping with what our guest, The Undertaker, would think. You make Bevo the favorite over Mike the Tiger?
I think Bevo proved that last year at the Sugar Bowl when he just about gored.
Oh, boy. That got scary. That got scary.
Hey,
it's good. That was real.
You've got some moves. You against Mike the Tiger. What's the first move if you find yourself in the octagon or the squared circle against Mike? What move you go into?
Simple. Choke slam, tombstone. It's over.
He didn't smile either.
No, he's not kidding around.
Nope, just done. Hey, I ain't messing with that Tiger.
I don't think. What?
I don't know if you want to do that.
You're a huge Texas fan, obviously. Hold on. Well, literally and figuratively, a huge Texas fan. What would a win tonight in this game on this stage mean for the Longhorns?
Man, you know, there's always the conversation every year. Is Texas back? I tell you what, when Texas wins tonight against the mighty SEC, I think people are going to know that Texas is back.
But talking to you, you've been a fan of Texas for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Besides just pulling for him, what do you see that feels different right now with Tom Herman and getting this program where it is?
Yeah, you know, every year, you know, you talk about the culture, and I tell you what, they invited me out his first year here. I came out and I saw what he was doing, and I was like, yeah, this is our guy.
Yeah.
He was changing everything that they were doing, the work. These guys, when I came back to practice a couple of weeks ago, I saw a bunch of boys a couple of years ago. I'm telling you what, right now, there's a bunch of grown men.
That's great.
And tonight, they're going to slap some heads. I promise you that.
So you're talking about you saw them fill out, you saw them develop. What did you see when you're saying that there's a different change? It's a different team.
There's just a meanness, you know.
A little anger, a little edge?
There's a lot of edge. I know they've been, you know, during practice they were tired of hitting each other. The guys are they're physically, they're bigger, they're stronger. They just got that nastiness. There's a bunch of big nasties ready to get it on, man.
What would you do if I slapped you right now?
You don't want to do that.
Wait, okay, well, there might be somebody else.
You got a whole day to work. You don't want to do that.
Oh, look at this.
You saw this sign. He brought it. What? This man right here. Show this man right here.
Yeah. Show him. It's his fault.
What do you think of him, Taker?
Horns down. Take care of that for us. Take care of that for us. All right, now.
You gonna take care of him?
Yeah, what do you think of that sign?
Yeah, you can put up with that?
No.
No.
Hey, we've got a UFC fight tonight. Nurmagomedov and Poirier. You're going to watch that?
I'm definitely going to watch it. You know what? I'm pulling for Poirier, but I tell you what, Khabib's a beast.
Yeah.
I tell you what, if Poirier can stay at distance, stay on his feet, avoid that takedown, he's got a chance. But otherwise, I tell you what, Khabib, it's like Ric Flair. You know what? He's the man, and until you beat the man, he's an animal. He is just a different kind of cat.
Taker, you
your
are the
sign.
man.
No, thank you guys.
Take care of that sign.
Appreciate
Check
it,
out that UFC fight this afternoon starting at 2 Eastern. The Undertaker.
Ready to upgrade your appliances?
Already been a sensational first hour of College Game Day. What a scene. LBJ Lawn on the 40 acres. They are alive and ready. Matthew McConaughey is going to join us in a little while and be our guest picker. We'll also sit down with the top quarterbacks in all of today's games. Going to hear from Sam Ehlinger, Trevor Lawrence. Oh, Trevor Lawrence on the basketball court. Also Joe Burrow. Shelley Smith has just an incredible story of USC offensive lineman Austin Jackson and how he saved his sister's life. Tigers or Horns? Which way is LC going? Headgear coming up with McConaughey by his side. That's just around the corner as we get ready to kick off and blast off with a college football Saturday. Bevo likes people. We might have jumped a little bit. He weighs like 1,800 pounds. Oh. Huge. How about this ABC triple header that you got? Bearcats at Buckeyes. Fickle coming in. Then A&M and Clemson at 3:30 Eastern, the nightcap. This one here with the Bayou Bengals and the Longhorns. You can see it all on the ESPN app. What a triple header it is. These fans, they have a whole festival here that will start as soon as game day ends. Live music, food trucks. It is a different vibe here in Austin right now, but there are also places where the vibe is not so good after week one.
I just have to say this.
Go ahead.
We stood out there with The Undertaker for all of 3 minutes.
Yes, sir.
I melted. and that heat, these people deserve bonus points for standing out there in that heat.
Absolutely.
God bless you for standing there. And when I look to my right, and I usually look at Dez, because I'm sweating all the time. It can be 58. I'm a little uncomfortable. I like to get the AC still working. I look to my right, I see David Pollock sweating. I know that I'm just gonna head out. I'm gonna
tap out, huh?
I'm done.
Just tap out.
Oh boy. Yeah. You all right, kid?
Maybe we should come up out these jackets at some point.
Yeah, it's gonna
my gosh.
It's gonna be 100 degrees at kickoff.
Is that right?
It was hot in Tallahassee last Saturday.
Yeah.
Willie Taggart questioned whether the Seminoles were properly hydrated before that loss to Boise State. But you have Florida State and Tennessee. You think about week one overreactions or some reactions that might be justified. Both Florida State and Tennessee fell and fell hard. Who's in more trouble, David?
I tell you what, Tennessee was quick to make fun of their old coach and the brick by brick and the 5-star heart or the heart, all that stuff. Hearted champions, all that stuff. If I'm a Tennessee fan, I'm really disturbed at what I saw last week. Running guys on the field, last second, 11th defender, and then they run a touchdown run, and guys in the wrong gaps lining up. I'm pretty concerned about what I saw. That has to be fixed. So Tennessee fans losing to Georgia State was worse for me.
Well, Tennessee has a tougher schedule than Florida State.
Yeah.
But Florida State had an excuse their first game. They got beat by the Heat. The game was in Tallahassee, Florida, their hometown, and they got beat by Heat. Figure that one out. I can't figure it out.
Willie Taggart's one of the great gentlemen in the business. We all cheer for him. All love to see it. He's trying to steer the Titanic there.
Oh,
the apathy that right now is at Tallahassee, the crowd, the players. There's no mental toughness right now. There's no heart. There's no fight. He's trying to get everybody to pull, and he might have one or two. This team is appearing to be as a front runner, talking trash to Boise State when they're up 21-3. First sign of trouble, they're finger pointing. Yeah. That is a big problem that Willie Taggart has there. It was there last year. We heard about the entire offseason. We're going in a better direction, and we see the exact same junk from them week one. So I think a bigger issue in Tallahassee. With all due respect.
We'll see. The long season.
I tell you what, if Tennessee doesn't win today, though, they're looking at starting off the season 1-6. Because then they have Chattanooga, but after that they have to travel and play Florida. They got Georgia, Mississippi State, and they have to travel and play Alabama. That's a 1-6 start. So today is crucial for Tennessee.
And today's BYU, who if not for some turnovers, might have given Utah some run.
Yeah,
I got to tell you, I think
tough.
Tennessee, it was a bad day to start. I mean, that had that boat in the Volunteer Navy that sunk before the game started, caught on fire and sunk to the bottom of the river. We look at these group of 5 teams. Boise State beat Florida State. Who's the best group of 5 team? Is it Boise State? Is it UCF?
I think UCF, because I live in Orlando, Florida. Enough said.
Oh, man.
I think neither, by the way.
I agree with you.
I'll take Cincinnati.
Me too.
If you're going to give me the group of 5, I won't take either one of those. I think Cincinnati's got what it takes.
I like Cincy, and I like when they're going to play UCF October 4th. So I got UCF right now because Brandon Wimbush at the quarterback position, but I do like Luke Fickell in Cincinnati.
Yeah, Luke Fickell in Cincinnati. Big game today, of course, with Ohio State at noon on ABC. I still think Boise. I was so impressed with Hank Bachmeier and the way they played down in the heat and humidity. it could not have gone any worse. We just talked about how bad it was for Florida State, but how good it was for Boise State to get that win. I know last night, they didn't look dominant against Marshall, but there's a lot to like on that football team. And if you look at their schedule, it's going to require an upset to knock off Boise State.
Let me give you another week one potential overreaction. Have a look at these numbers. Not Kyler Murray, not Baker Mayfield, not Sam Bradford, not Jason White. None of them, Heisman Trophy winners all, had a debut like Jalen Hurts did. Hurts plays South Dakota today. They're going to put up big numbers again. Is he the front runner for the Heisman Trophy?
Well, first let me just say this. I'm 1,000% convinced. We could give Lincoln Riley one spring practice and a summer camp with the Bear and put him in that offense, and the Bear would have a shot at being all conference in the Big 12. I'm convinced. So when you put that system of Lincoln Riley, who's cutting edge, with a talented player like Jalen Hurts, and by the way, the determination, hey, congratulations. No, I don't want to hear anything about that. We got a lot of, he means that. That's that Alabama attitude coming over into Lincoln or into Norman. I think he's the front runner. And you imagine the numbers he's going to put up against that schedule? Yeah, he's got to be the front runner right now. They love him.
Yeah, but it's too early to talk about
it. He just asked me a question.
He
asked me the question.
You sort of didn't answer it for a long time.
Yes. Hey, you front runner? Could you say, I don't have a front runner? Because you're not buying the hype. I mean, it was against Houston. Houston's defense was the 119th scoring defense a year ago.
Bro, he's going to put up numbers.
He is.
And they're going to
can't get caught up in the numbers game. Come on, we can't get caught up in that.
But I mean,
I like Travis Etienne and what he did that night.
Too early.
He was incredible. So I like Travis Etienne.
Yeah, Etienne, more yards per play when he runs than when Trevor Lawrence passes since the start of last year. Another thing that we looked at last week, Pac-12, how important was it for Oregon to beat Auburn to stay in the playoff? Well, they blew a 21-6 lead in the third quarter. Bo Nix, the hero, to Seth Williams, and the Ducks lost that marquee game. Now, don't forget Georgia transfer Jacob Eason. Put up big numbers in the start against Eastern Washington. He's got a really stout defense, and Cal coming today. JT Daniels of USC lost for the season with a knee injury. Trojans are going to play a freshman now when they play Stanford, so there are problems in the Pac-12. Pac-12 done in terms of playoff consideration? What do you think, Des?
I like Washington. I like Jacob Eason. I like what he brings to the offense. He's going to allow Coach Peterson an opportunity now to open up that offense. Watch what they do against Cal today. I think Washington might have an outside chance. I know you guys love Utah.
Too early.
Yes.
They played Eastern Washington. It was like that was a 7-on-7 scrimmage.
You just said the man asked me a question. You just said that.
Hey, they play. Cal will be a great test, though.
Yeah.
Cal will be. And Jacob Eason, I want to see him under some pressure, but
today
they're not. Absolutely, the Pac-12 is not out of the playoff. Utah and Washington very much are still very alive. Utah doesn't play Oregon. I mean, that helps obviously down the road. It's an easier schedule, but no, they're not out of it by any stretch of the
Don't forget Utah, one of my final four
That's right,
teams.
Sweetheart.
Huh?
Yeah.
Come on, Utah's
Utah's got Northern Illinois today, and they struggled mightily with them last year. Do you agree with this, Bear? Pac-12? Done?
No, not at all. Look at a couple of years ago. Washington didn't play a soul in the non-conference and lost to the best team they played and wound up in the playoff. If Washington runs the table, or Utah, Oregon, any of those teams, still way a huge overreaction to just write that conference up right now.
Yeah. I think we all agree.
But I think you could write off Oregon to an extent. I think that if you're a one-loss,
what if they win out?
Here's the thing: if you're a one-loss Pac-12 champion and you're going against every other conference in college football, I think you're going to lose a debate with a one-loss argument.
But they should be rewarded for being willing to take a chance, leading and controlling most of that game, and they end up running the table. If I were on that committee, I would really be willing to give them the benefit of the doubt if they were to run the table and win the Pac-12, because they went all the way to Dallas and played Auburn. I mean, they deserve bonus points for that, even though they lost that game, in my opinion.
I just don't think they look at it like that. But I agree. They should. I agree.
Last week, Hugh Freeze of Liberty against Syracuse, coached from a hospital bed.
Yep.
Now we're looking at something different. Yeah. Liberty going to Louisiana Lafayette and still making sure Hugh's able to do this. They're calling it a medical chair, not a dental chair. This baby weighs 600 pounds and retails for more than $5,000. Wow. You got it all set up there.
Liberty. I know a dental chair when I see a dental chair.
Yeah, not a fan.
Not medical chair.
Not
Demo chair.
You didn't move it there. Why is that?
He's doing the most. They're doing the
he
most
didn't.
right now.
Hey,
too.
we hope Hugh continues to feel better as we check in with Chef Casey Studdard. How about that name? Whitfield's Restaurant, the Home Depot Game Day Tailgate. They're cooking up traditional Texas barbecue brisket, pulled pork, bacon wrapped quail, pickled strawberries. Oh, look at this. Here's Coke Zero Sugar counts us down to kickoff. That is Ryan Helensky, the brother of the late Tyler Helensky, who will start for South Carolina today against Charleston Southern, hugging his mom, Kim. His parents have moved to South Carolina. Jake Bentley being injured. Ryan is going to make his first career start. Wears number 3 to honor his family and also in memory of his brother who died by suicide a little over a year ago. We'll be watching Ryan Helensky make his debut today, and Coke Zero Sugar counting us down to kickoff at Maryland. Syracuse and the Terps. Dino Babers in his 4th season, trying to get things going, make sure they don't step in it, or they have Clemson coming next week. And still to come on College Game Day, LSU's offense, not just Coach O now, they've got an O, and the Minister of Culture at the University of Texas, Matthew McConaughey, is our celebrity guest picker. He's been pumping up the horns.
You're satisfied with being very good. You're kind of renting that idea, right? But if you're only satisfied with being 100% committed, you're owning it.
Matthew will join us in a little bit, and for fans at home, stay tuned. More Pizza Hut Game Day traditions later in the show.
Guys, together, we can do anything. But let's not forget to be tidy and pick up after ourselves. Who's with me?
You can't have a halftime speech without the head coach.
No? All right.
And you can't have football without the Hut.
College Game Day, built by the Home Depot, is brought to you by Pizza Hut, official pizza of college football. No one out-pizzas the Hut. And Office Depot Office Max.
Oh, look at all the Texas fans. You know, anywhere you can find to cool off just a little bit.
Yeah.
A day like today. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. From end zone to end zone, Goodyear is more driven. LSU's offense is a little more driven than it has been in recent years. That offense has been downright offensive at times. It's been staid. It's been stubborn. As you see our countdown clock getting us started on this sizzling college football Saturday. Here's what LSU has done against Power 5 opponents. It hasn't been great, and since they lost the 2011 national title game to Alabama, they haven't finished higher than 6th in scoring or total offense. George Whitfield joins Kirk and Meir, quarterback coach extraordinaire. This is a whole new offense for LSU with Joe Brady coming in.
Crazy. Reese, I thought when I went down to Baton Rouge a couple of days ago and spent time with them, I thought I'd see a wrinkle or two.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, that's a nice adjustment. They're making tidal waves down there, and if they can get it in and apply it tonight, it's a game changer, and it's going to be scary for the entire nation.
I can't wait to see as far as this offense, where it's been, where it has to go, and where it's going to develop, because you had a chance to, I know, go down to Baton Rouge, and let's take a quick peek, kind of see what you learned with Joe Burrow this week.
Deal.
This new look offense led by Joe Burrow, and here they go. Touchdown, Tigers!
They're not messing around.
This team's moving fast right now.
Your coordinators expect you to just put your foot on the throat and go. What does that do for you?
It keeps the defense on their heels. When the defense doesn't have their cleat in the grass, doesn't have their hand in the ground, the O-line can get off the ball and drive them off the ball, and it's just that always attacking mentality.
A guy like Joe, you know, he's so vocal in terms of what he's comfortable with, what he sees. Well, the more that we can put on his plate, we feel comfortable with, and I know he wants that.
You get a massive amount of confidence when your coaches believe in you like that to implement your ideas into the offense, but there's also no excuses. If I mess up, it's on me.
What is a staple in practice that you use to get everybody on the same sheet music?
We call it screen drill. It's basically just a tempo drill, so we're just calling plays as fast as we can, getting to the ball, getting lined up, handing the ball to the official, sprinting back to the line and calling the next play.
All right, do your thing. Let's see it. Good read. Ball spotted right there on the hash, Good, there we go. There's the tempo. Here we go. Boom. So I saw in your opener the referee was standing over the ball, and it looked like you were going to explode.
Look at Burrow. He's upset at the official.
You wanted to go physically remove him off the ball.
They're supposed to hold it when we sub, and it was a 3rd and short, and we didn't sub, and Georgia Southern was trying to sub all their D-line off and get a whole new D-line on. So I was trying to snap the ball, but they were holding us, and that really wasn't supposed to happen.
Touchdown LSU, and electric to start.
Was there any concerns before you hit the field thinking, can we pack this up and go play with this?
No concerns at all, you know. We're getting the ball out fast, helping our O-line. There's tons of great pass rushers in this league, but the faster I can get the ball out, the more it's going to help them, and the less those pass rushers are going to want to rush. I think we can be the best in the country. I really do. You know, we have the talent to do it. We have the scheme. We have the coaches. It's all going to be on me how I play.
Joe just made a really strong comment there. I mean, we think LSU being the best in the country. I think of their team. I think of their defense. I don't think of their offense. He's trying to be the best in the country with this offense.
And with this transformation, it is possible. I mean, Reese, imagine your granddad who's been listening to Jimmy Buffett for years, and now he's bumping Kendrick Lamar.
This is what we're used
Jimmy
to.
Buffett. This is what we're used to. The old flex. Only 2 receivers. It's 3rd down and long. We got to get some yards. We'll pick on a linebacker.
That's LSU.
With the tight end. That's LSU.
That's what they've been forever.
Right. Brute
What's
force.
this?
Where's the fullback?
Now we got some greyhounds out here. We got some greyhounds. Now watch this. Everybody calls it the spread. This is NFL. This has NFL elements. There's his first read, second read, third read. Come back to your first. Chunk plays. This is scary. Let's go take space with our better athletes.
So for the fans at home, Texas's defense is fast. They're athletic. They're aggressive. This offense in space, what should they watch for tonight? What's the matchup? What's to watch with LSU's offense?
So Coach Brady is going to work a lot of varying elements. He's not going to come out in the same sets. His 2 best receivers aren't going to always be on the outside. He's going to start at times with the running back all the way outside. Then he'll motion him in the backfield. Then he'll sprint him across. The tight end might come out of the backfield and go out as a receiver. Now you got to track and keep up with all these guys, and they're the same monsters that have been running and dominating in the LSU for years. I mean, in the SEC for years. Now they're playing in a quote Big 12 type system, but it's got an NFL coach with his hands at the controls and a veteran quarterback behind the
controls. It's weird to see 5 receivers going out.
We have, we're going to see mirror images, a lot of short passes. I think 43 of the 65 passes each quarterback threw in the opener within 6 yards of the line of scrimmage. Kirk's going to visit with Sam Ehlinger a little bit later on in College Game Day, but we've got Maria and David with people who had a single job.
Yeah, you're right, Reese. Life gets hard, especially as you get closer and closer to mid-season. You know who we haven't had on You Had One Job yet, David? Who is our favorite position group to make fun of?
The Hogs?
I was going to say kickers. Come on, bro.
The kickers,
yeah.
for sure.
Time for You Had One Job presented by Geico.
Football players, my bad.
Oh, no. Okay, the punter here from St. Francis, Ryan Oliver, destroyed.
You deserve to get destroyed. You dropped the ball 16 times. I mean, he literally dropped the ball, hit in the face. That's what happens.
He's okay. I saw a tweet. He's doing just fine. All right, cameraman trying to keep up with Safe.
Oh.
Didn't work out for him.
No, we usually don't have cameramen on here, but the back pedal was
Look at Safe. Like, come on,
that's not how
bro.
TV back pedals. You got to back pedal better than that.
Get up. Jackson State. Okay, they score a touchdown here. The mascot, though, gets so excited he comes out to celebrate. Unsportsmanlike.
So you got flagged for a mascot?
Yes.
I would beat the mascot up. I would literally just beat him up. You got to control yourself, man. Come on.
You got to stay on the sidelines, bruh. Okay, dad playing soccer. This is David teaching his kids how to play.
What's the problem here?
No. Just keep watching. All right, get up.
Oh!
Yeah.
You see the head snap back? God! I thought it was a light soccer ball. God!
God.
Man!
Come on. Be
wow!
That's David as a parent, so you guys know.
Get up, kid. You're fine.
Get up, ready to go. Old school ground and pound offense coming back to the big house. It's just Army bringing it in against Harbaugh's Wolverines, and that offensive there still has that new car smell.
There's a lot of excitement around here about what this offense is going to look like in Ann Arbor.
Patterson got some help from Wilson. Touchdown!
Pretty darn good for the first time seeing a new offense. From day one, I think we knew who we were right when Coach Gas came in.
Decisive in the play calling, and we had a clear, clean, concise game. Is that good enough to beat the teams on our schedule? Make all the improvement that we can, including for this ball game.
Everybody remembers Army giving Oklahoma a hard time last September. Michigan may get a couple of defensive linemen back today. Might say, hey, can I have another week, Coach, with all this cut blocking?
Yeah.
Can Michigan be a little vulnerable today?
I don't think so. I know it's trendy because Army competed with Oklahoma last year. I just want to keep seeing this offense. I thought last week Josh Gaddis, as a guy who's never called plays, was outstanding. He moved different quarterbacks in. He seemed to be a step ahead of things. So it's just another step against an Army defense that'll be tough and undersized and give them everything they got. But I think over time, this offense is building for the future.
Michigan's new offense will not have a pushover against Army. Army has not allowed more than 14 points the last 3 games. Now, listen to this. Run offense, ball control, and good defense. Michigan wins, but real close.
Wow.
Real close in the house.
Yeah, I think what Army's going to do is try to limit Michigan's possessions offensively by ball control offense, like you said. When I watched the offense, I could see the potential in the offense. It's just that Shea Patterson wasn't consistent. He opened the game with a fumble. He had a couple more fumbles throughout the game at the mesh point between him and the running back. But when they hit their potential, when he has time to throw, Nico Collins is a problem out there wide, number 4, and so is number 7, Tariq Black.
Jeff Monken has said about giving Michigan trouble. He's like, are you kidding? We're outmanned at every position. And he just said they'll fight. Well, while Michigan is playing at noon, so too is Ohio State, and a stern challenge coming on ABC for the Buckeyes as Luke Fickell and the Bearcats roll. And I think Luke knows his way around Columbus. It's the first time facing Ohio State as a head coach. He was an assistant at Akron and faced the Buckeyes once in a 28-14 loss. Luke has a long legacy with the Buckeyes, 50 straight starts, part of the Rose Bowl championship team after the 96 season.
Nothing was more Ohio State than Luke Fickell his entire career. Player, look at it as an assistant coach. When Tressel was let go, he was the interim before Urban Meyer. He's Buckeye as much as Buckeye can be.
He was the head coach for that one season after Jim Tressel resigned. Allison Williams spoke with Luke Fickell.
Coach Fickell, welcome home. Being from Columbus, having spent over 2 decades as part of the Ohio State Buckeyes as a player and a coach, how successful have you been in managing the emotion of this week?
Pretty good. I mean, I haven't really let it show a whole lot this week. A lot of sleepless nights, but I think that's, anytime you're going to be in a big game, and we've created this, our team's created this to give us this opportunity, and I think that try to put all those emotions aside and focus on what it's really about. It's about these 18 to 22-year-olds in a big game for our program.
His defensive coordinator, Marcus Freeman's from Ohio State. They have some transfers there. He had to argue with his wife, Amy, about how many tickets they really needed. He didn't want to deal with all of that. How do you look at this matchup?
I tell you what, Ohio State came out a week ago and scored 28 points in the first quarter against FAU. That will not happen today. Luke Fickell's group is going to bring them more resistance defensively. When they played UCLA, they stayed in UCLA's backfield, walked away with 6 sacks in that game. It's going to be a close game early, but Ohio State just has too much talent. This is my Joes is better than your Joes type of game.
But at the same time, we've seen Ohio State playing these games in September and been pushed. UC, in fact, about years ago, gave them a challenge in a national championship year. I expect this to be very similar. It's a team that was 11-2 last year under Luke Fickell. 14 of those starters back, including their quarterback Desmond Ridder, their running back Michael Warren. They will not be intimidated. Luke Fickell all week has his team focused on playing tough and out fighting the Buckeyes on their own turf. I think it's a close game. This is the week we find out really how far Justin Fields and Ryan Day have come against a pretty tenacious defense.
Ohio State jumped on Florida Atlantic, first 4 drives, touchdowns. Then they sputtered in the second, third quarter. They didn't score. I'm telling you, if they don't keep that tempo up and keep going, they're going to have problems against good teams. They can't have it up and down offense.
That game comes up at noon Eastern time on ABC. Purdue plays Vanderbilt today. You remember last year that Purdue took on Ohio State, handed the Buckeyes a loss, and that was the game that Tyler Trent really walked his way into the hearts of people all across the country and college football fans. Today would have been Tyler's 21st birthday. He had predicted the victory against Ohio State, and then there was a massive celebration after the Boilermakers knocked off the Buckeyes. He lost his battle to cancer. He mustered the strength to watch his team. Just an emotional night.
Yeah, Jeff Fromm and those players really wrapped their arms around him. He meant so much to them, each individually.
Yeah. Well, today at Ross H. Stadium, when the Boilermakers take on Vanderbilt, as I said, it would have been Tyler's 21st birthday, they will dedicate the Tyler Trent Student Gate. It just happened a few moments ago, and this is the Hammer Down Cancer game. Kelly and Tony Trent, his parents, the first through the gate, and Tyler's best friend Josh Seals, who 2 years ago camped out with Tyler for a Michigan game to show his support, is the first student through the gate, and forever that will be the Tyler Trent Student Gate. That epitomized what's special about college football, and so too is this story of Austin Jackson of USC and how he saved his
For Austin to say, you know what, this is more important than anything else that I do on this earth, is to go help a loved one. There was no question in my mind. Not only do you got to go do this, you get to.
It is a sea of signs in burnt orange out on the LBJ lawn on the 40 acres. Oh, that's impressionist art. Matthew McConaughey will be there soon. I'm sure they're just thinking about how he feels about it. Coach O.
They don't want to take his shirt off?
Coach O always makes an appearance on the signs, doesn't he?
Always.
Well, he's done it before.
There he is again.
There was a sign, and I think there's no trouble doing that, but in a good way.
There's nothing weird about Austin. You kidding me? No.
Moon Tower. Oh,
how about
that? You know, we have signs from all over. Somebody out here says Rutgers in Iowa and take the over 59. Look at that. Look at LC.
Sunshine.
Scooter right there.
Sunshine Scooter.
They're encouraging him to put Mike the Tiger on his head. We'll see what LC does. He and Matthew McConaughey get together to make those picks. Top of the hour on ABC. Coke Zero Sugar counting us down to kickoff. The Buckeyes. Now, I told you the last loss was to Oberlin, but College of Worcester locked them up in 24-7-7. That's the last time they didn't beat. They didn't beat them.
Bring it out. Oberlin and Worcester.
Yeah, I wish Corso was here to tell us about this game.
Big time. Folsom Field in Boulder, CU trying to keep the red out. Scott Frost said this week, I know Nebraska will never have an issue trying to keep Nebraska fans holding on to their tickets for games. Oh, little rivalry, Pizza Hut game day traditions. Look at these unis right here. How about Corey Schlesinger?
Oh my gosh, going old school right here. These games were
look at the shoulder pads.
That's how Dez and I used to do it back in the day.
You're right.
Oh, is that Cordell?
Cordell, get off me. Get off me. No, they still got it. Those Nebraska defenses were just
24-7. Now this is a 10-6 game in 96. There's Scotty Frost.
Still could do that. Still could do that today.
Look at that water. Just look at that. Unbelievable. They don't need to throw the football, by the way. No throwing highlights allowed.
D'Angelo Evans. Touchdown. Here's another good name. Who you got here, Kirk?
Boyd Detmer.
Boyd Detmer, baby.
I got you, baby.
Oh, wow. Good call. Good call.
Oh, yeah. You don't mess with me in this era.
Don't mess with me. All right. In 2000.
That's Chris Brown. Chris Brown. That tore up Nebraska.
I believe that's Bobby Purified.
No, is it really? I thought it was Chris Brown. Nebraska still went to the national title.
They did. Now here's Chris Brown.
That looks like the same guy. Maybe it is. Okay.
It's not.
Okay, it's not. 22. All right, I just knew Chris Brown had about 500 yards rushing that day.
There he goes. There he goes. There he goes.
Just running through.
62-36. As Kirk said, Nebraska still went to the national championship game, and they're in different conferences now, but the hatred is still there. Nebraska nose guard Darian Daniels is a grad transfer from Oklahoma State, but he's all caught up on the rivalry. He says, my coach doesn't like them, so I don't like them. Nebraska and the Buffs get together. Last year, they sent in a play in which Adrian Martinez was hurt that Frost thought was dirty, so there's a little bad blood percolating. These two get together.
I think anytime Nebraska plays Colorado, there's going to be a little more juice.
We do understand how deep this kind of almost like a hatred goes.
We dislike these guys a little bit more.
Everyone's going to be at the point of attack.
An interception thrown by Martinez. It's picked off by guess who? Nate Landman.
Our fans are going to be loud. Our students are going to be into it.
The sea of red is coming to Boulder.
Now, Big Red travels.
Yeah.
You guys know.
Yep.
Yeah. Nebraska's offense wasn't what was expected. Frost said that Adrian Martinez didn't have his best week of practice going into that. The QBR showed it. They turned the ball over. They didn't get it done. But, 67% of the seats bought on the secondary ticket market. Big Red.
Yeah, you'll see
some red.
Yeah. You're going to see a sea of red. I think this last week's performance by Nebraska is the classic case of, as much as he tried, the team was sneaking and looking ahead to a game they were really excited about. You're going to see a chippy, emotional Nebraska team playing on the road. Scott Frost knows the history of this rivalry. You just saw that. And I think he'll get his team to buy in. And I think some of the sloppiness, they just weren't effective. They didn't have their normal rhythm. Had a lot to do with thinking about this game. And they lost to them last year. So I expect Nebraska to bounce back this week, look good.
Yeah, Adrian Martinez, the quarterback of the Cornhuskers, he took responsibility for the way they played a week ago against South Alabama. He says, on my shoulders, the expectations are through the roof. I know it starts with me. So now he's going to try to bounce back on the road against Colorado. But don't forget, last year when they played Colorado, Adrian Martinez came out of that game gimpy because they were at the bottom of the pile, twisting his leg. He accused Jacob Collier of twisting his leg. Now, Nebraska fans on social media, they were attacking this kid. There's no love lost in this rivalry. It's going to be a heated matchup.
And that's what makes it fun. Yeah, that's what makes it fun. I would argue that there's no team in the country that's going to be more quarterback dependent than Nebraska this year. Adrian Martinez has to be a special runner and a special thrower and run that offense with a lot of precision. He didn't do that last week. He looked very sloppy. And remember, he's another one that got Heisman talk preseason and got a lot of love. Adrian Martinez will have to play great every week for Nebraska in big games because he's going to be asked to do a lot.
And Bear, one thing, we keep talking about how Scott Frost doing. Mel Tucker is bringing that SEC kind of chippiness to Boulder, so I wouldn't be shocked to see Colorado come out fighting as well.
No, they did, especially in the second half. Now, look, that defense gave up a lot of points and a lot of yards against the shaky Colorado State team. But we'll see. I think it'll be a pretty high-scoring game. But I'm going to go to another Pac-12 game. Another team that gave up a lot of points in the open to Oregon State. But that was to Oklahoma State, a really good Big 12 offense. Chuba Hubbard, really good running back. Hawaii's not going to run the ball like that against Oregon State. And I always get a little wary about Hawaii pulls the outright upset, double-digit underdog against a Pac-12 team. I think a lot of that was bad Arizona not really taking advantage of 6 turnovers. Now they're a touchdown favorite. I don't know. I think I'm going to make you stay up late at night, last game of the night, to see if we can go 2-1 or 0 and whatever it is on the board. I'll take the Oregon State Beavs on the road. Give them the
2-1. Why not 3-0? You're going 3-0.
Give me 2 and sign me up for 2-1 right
now. They better take care of them. I told you what happens in the islands if it's close.
What else do you always say? You got to be a lot better than your opponent.
Lot better.
Why don't we skip over Michigan Army? We already talked about them,
that last segment. We
talked about them.
I wanted to hit Cal Washington right quick, though. Who you got there?
It's interesting. I think a lot of people are probably on Cal here because they beat them last year. It's double digits. Really good secondary, and I think the jury still might be out on what we saw last week from Jacob Eason. If they would, I mean, it's a good revenge spot. I wouldn't feel comfortable laying the points, but at the same time, how many points is Cal really going to score? It's probably an under type of game.
Yeah, Justin Wilcox's defense is
always
be a good. And last year you just talked about low scoring with 12-10, sloppy, ugly game, and I think this is a good barometer on Jacob Eason and this offense of Washington.
Evan Weaver read the pick 6 against Jake Handler last year to seal it for Cal. Said last week, we'll beat them. Talking about this week.
A lot of that's going around this week.
People feeling good. Maybe he should say, hey, we'll lose to them.
Yeah. Maybe that's what you should say that to your teammates and not saying it publicly. That's an idea, too.
How about in Los Angeles today? SC and Stanford, both a little shaky in opening wins, and there's more unknown as they go to backup quarterbacks. JT Daniels and KJ Costello hurt. Daniels done for the season. Costello is expected back next week. That coming from David Shaw via our crew. So it'll be Davis Mills, who was highly recruited, one of the top pocket passers in the country in the class of 2017. Keaton Slovis of USC, meanwhile, was almost completely overlooked. He was a guy who had some talent but wasn't really in the whole recruiting world, and now he will be counted on if the Trojans are going to knock off Stanford.
Pressure coming. Rice is there. Daniels is down.
They're clearly checking his right knee.
Daniels is going to have to get helped off.
I feel bad for JT, you know, and our team feels bad. He put so much into this season.
Got to continue to play, and we've had a ton of confidence in Keaton since he's been here.
It's just the same game I've been playing forever, you know, nothing really changes.
First down, he steps up and will run, slide. That is Ernest Brown, who delivered a blow here with Costello going into his feet for a slide. A scary moment with this high hit from Ernest Brown. Davis Mills comes into the game for Stanford.
Davis did some nice things on Saturday. Not forcing the ball, scrambling, getting positive yards with his legs. All of our quarterbacks know our offense, and now it's about just getting ready to play.
SC flag still waving. They've had a couple of matchups with Texas the last few years. So Stanford and USC, 10:30 Eastern time tonight on ESPN. By the way, David Shaw telling Molly McGrath that the KJ Costello injury wasn't a head injury. He's making progress, and they expect him back. But what do you expect tonight? Not tonight. They expect him back next week.
Right.
What do you expect in the game tonight?
I tell you what, RD, you look at Davis Mills. He's a quarterback that Coach Shaw loves. He talks about his arm talent. I think he's going to give him an opportunity to open up the offense and take shots down the field. But I think a bigger loss for Stanford might be their left tackle, Walker Little. He's not going to be in this game, so make sure you watch the left tackle. He may be a bigger loss than the quarterback.
This is, when we think of Pac-12, we've talked about excitement over the years and a lot of scoring. Don't expect that in this ballgame. I mean, you got two green quarterbacks that haven't played a lot. I mean, this is going to be first one to 10, first one to 14 wins this ballgame. I feel really bad for JT Daniels, and I feel bad for Clay Helton. You bring in a new offense, and you get all excited, and you want to use it. Now you can only use parts of it and pieces of it with a true freshman quarterback. So it's not, don't expect a lot of scoring out of this ballgame.
Yeah, you mentioned that Stanford offensive line. We always think of the physicality in the run game, pass protection with a young quarterback big. Drake Jackson, that freshman from USC, can really get after the quarterback. But I think this is a game about which coach has the trust to be more aggressive with the play calling. Which coach is willing to take a chance with, you know, it's almost like a boxer, you kind of feeling each other out. Who's willing to say, I'm going to turn it loose. I'm going to do what we normally do, as opposed to being a little more conservative and making it a super low-scoring game.
You know, Stanford ought to try. Only 6 teams in the country last week gave up more 30-yard passes than USC did.
Yeah, give it a shot.
Let's see what the Trojans are able to do with Keaton Slovis at quarterback. And, of course, the Trojans, much is going to be put on their offensive line to be able to protect the young quarterback. And the guy on the blind side is the left tackle, Austin Jackson. There is his number 73. You know, to play on the offensive line is the epitome of selflessness. You give up your body to protect a teammate. Austin Jackson giving himself up, that took on a much deeper meaning than just trying to keep his quarterback from being sacked or try to help his team win a game. For Austin Jackson, it meant saving his sister's life. Shelley Smith has the story.
USC's starting left tackle, Austin Jackson, had a decision to make this offseason that could have put his football future in jeopardy. It was a chance that Jackson knew he needed to take.
It was tough. You know, I love football, but our motto is faith, family, and football. And, you know, family's over football.
53 days before the season opener, Jackson wasn't here with his teammates. Instead, he was here, at home in Phoenix. His 18-year-old sister, Autumn, needed his help.
My daughter is perpetually dying. It's like Grim Reaper, just hovering around, waiting. Because without the blood of another human being, she would not be here.
Autumn Jackson has lived her whole life with a rare, potentially lethal genetic blood disorder called diamond black fan anemia, meaning her bone marrow can't produce enough red blood cells.
All right, girl, baby, we got it.
5 years ago, she became dependent on blood transfusions that she needed every 3 weeks. With each transfusion came a greater risk of cancer and organ failure.
This could get much worse for me, and I would hate to live my life the way I have been living it for these last few years.
Doctors told Autumn's family that a bone marrow transplant was the best option to prolong her life.
If we can find a donor, then we're going to have a transplant. But at that time, we didn't have a donor. We were on a search.
They were going to test Austin, but it was like only a 25% chance or something like that. It would be a sibling match.
I was the first person they tested, and it happened to be a 100% match.
Any hesitation once you found out you were a match?
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. This is something that I can't pass up. This is like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I can only imagine how many siblings wish they could do something like this for their sibling.
He came to me and basically said, there's two things that I would love to ask for.
The first was to skip 3 days of spring practice in April for a trip to Hawaii. It was a chance to spend time with family during Autumn's once-in-a-lifetime trip from the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
For Austin to say, you know what, this is more important than anything else that I do on this earth, is to go help a loved one. There was no question in my mind. Not only do you got to go do this, you get to.
The second thing Austin asked for was a month away from the team during off-season conditioning. Doctors wanted him working out on his own at home in Phoenix, so Austin wouldn't risk an infection that he could pass on to Autumn.
I kind of felt like everything we had gone through leading up to this point and us having to rely on each other and being really close to each other was for this moment, and that it was kind of like destiny. I feel like he's like a superhero sometimes because it really is a courageous thing to do.
In early July, Autumn was admitted to Phoenix Children's Hospital for chemotherapy to destroy her bone marrow. 6 days later, Austin arrived for part 1 of the transplant.
I'm nervous. Yeah, they said it's gonna hurt a lot, so like, I don't know, I'm just anxious for that.
To do the bone marrow harvest, we use a trocar needle where we will drill this into his hip bone multiple times, and then we just aspirate the fluid through the hole of the needle. All right, ready? Let's do it.
See you soon.
Numerous holes were drilled into Austin's hip. Over 3 hours, doctors extracted 1.4 liters of his bone marrow.
It feels good, you know, it's like, it's kind of relieving. It's, in a way, it's out of my hands now, so I just gotta let the rest work out and let Autumn get right, get better.
The next morning, while Austin was at home in bed recovering from intense pain, his bone marrow was brought to Autumn.
It's pretty neat, huh? You see it?
I see it.
Nearly 20% of patients with Diamond-Blackfan anemia don't survive this transplant process. But if it works, the procedure can be life-changing.
She won't need transfusions. She doesn't have to worry about the risk of leukemia. She doesn't have to worry about heart failure, the liver failure. He's saving her life. That's what he's doing.
53 days after he gave his sister new life, still sore and receiving physical therapy daily, Austin Jackson was there for his team, starting at left tackle for the Trojans. Nearly 400 miles away in Phoenix, now bald from the chemotherapy, Autumn is home from the hospital, a month ahead of schedule. It's still early, but the transplant appears to be a success.
She got really great marrow from her brother because every doctor, every nurse that came in, they were astounded.
I feel stronger. Certain tasks are easier to do. I'm starting to plan for the future, even though I have no idea what's going to happen next, but it's just so fun to know that I can do it one day.
Austin Jackson, indeed, with the ultimate act of protection and love. And Autumn will be watching Austin tonight as USC takes on Stanford, where now Austin says he's ready to hold down that left side. What a remarkable story of love between a brother and a sister, and wonderfully told by Shelley Smith. Austin Jackson and USC against Stanford tonight, 10:30 Eastern Time on ESPN. We'll have more on this game coming up. We'll have a pick on it a little bit later on. And, of course, here in Austin this morning, where this crowd has been appreciative and listening to the show, we're going to dive into Texas and LSU. Coming up very soon, Kurt spent some time with Sam Ehlinger and how this culture has developed at Texas under Tom Herman.
He really wants us to focus internally on being a family and loving each other. And when you put those two things together, really special things happen.
Now, when we think DBU, don't we usually think LSU? No, they say the Texas D's wearing those real DBU t-shirts.
Everybody has their opinion. You know, we have ours, they have theirs. So, you know, if they want to wear it, you know, so be it. But come Saturday, we just got to prove it on the field.
Countdown to kickoff is brought to you by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Share a Coke this football season with your friends, family, and fans.
Brown saga. Hey, you think somebody's going to get mossed in DKR tonight? Randy Moss's son, Thaddeus.
Oh!
Tied in for LSU.
How about that?
Hey, look at Gene being a man of the people.
Oh, boy. Pollock on. Hey, the shenanigans on the side set. The shenanigans.
Stop trying to. Hey. Let's get some of my friends in the crowd.
You see Gene chasing down?
Here.
You see Gene's speed?
Serious. Get back to football.
Yeah.
NLC.
Gene used to be a wideout, man.
Yeah, serious football with LSU and Texas tonight, 7:30 Eastern on ABC.
Don't blame the calendar. It only counts the months and days. It doesn't measure what it means. It can't gauge how it feels. These teams, this night, this game, will do that.
Bring our A-game every Saturday!
So, hold that tiger and hook them horns. Let the Lone Star shine and the Bayou brew. Yeah, it's only September, but these 60 minutes will be a season all by itself.
You know how you really know it's a big game?
How's that?
LSU fans got Sam Ehlinger's phone number.
They did, for real.
Man, dude.
In our meeting, he pulled his phone out in our meeting. Wow. As he was talking to us, every 5 seconds, area code from Baton Rouge or New Orleans.
It was truly calling Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge was calling him. Yeah. And there were 600 texts.
Wow.
I mean, it was unbelievable. There's Sam's locker, so if you hear a phone buzzing, it's probably his. He'll put the Bayou Bengals on silent by the end of the night.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You know, for college football fans that are younger, like who's in college right now, you go back to 2000 to 2009, Texas had the highest winning percentage in the country. With Mac Brown, they were averaging 11 wins a year. Sam Ehlinger was a youngin' right here in Austin, growing up watching players like Vince Young and Colt McCoy. Since then, there's been some struggles since 2009. Now Texas is starting to regain their swagger. And can you think of a better guy to be the engineer to lead them back than Sam?
And the All-State Sugar Bowl is underway. Ehlinger, the snap, he'll run it himself to the goal line. Touchdown, Texas. Sam Ehlinger takes it across. Here's Sam, running to the 5, to the goal line. Touchdown, Texas. Sam Ehlinger took it in for the score.
Longhorn Nation, we're back.
Sugar Bowl, that was an incredible memory. And you look at that trophy, what do you think about?
No one
picked us to win. We knew if we played our best, we had a shot.
Not only a shot, I mean domination. And of course, everybody talked about after the game, you said, hey, we're back. When you said that, what was going through your mind? What made you feel you wanted to say that?
Honestly, it was a spur of the moment deal. You know, I say now that my definition of the University of Texas football program should be competing for championships.
This is what it's about. This is what you guys are playing
Absolutely, absolutely.
So you grew up in Austin, lifelong Longhorns fan. I mean, you say, I'm going there, I'm bringing it back. Was that part of your decision to go there and play?
Absolutely. You have all these big programs, you know, the USCs, the Ohio States, the Texases, and it's hard for those programs to stay down for a long time.
Sure.
And so I knew it was a matter of time before Texas football was going to be really good again, and I wanted to be a part of that team and be a part of that program because it was so special to me.
How would you describe Texas's offense in 2019?
Explosive, freak athletes that have experience. If you want to try to stop the run, we'll throw it by you. If you want to have guys that are kind of in the middle, so it's a decision, we'll hit the RPO game. I mean, whatever you try to do to stop us, we have answers because of the versatility.
What are realistic goals you feel for this team?
We have the talent and the coaching and the experience to go out and win games. But my goal would to be really lead our guys and have our team in a position where our heads are so clear on the goal and our focus that outside noise doesn't affect us.
My job is to make sure that the best 22 guys on offense and defense is on the field at all times.
Tom Herman has clearly changed the culture. Saturday night will help change the culture. What is that culture?
Implementing in your everyday life and everything that you're doing to be the best, to win championships and then be the best version of yourself. When you put those two things together, really special things happen.
I think what stands out to me, we could talk X's and O's and this system of Tom Herman's and how physical he is and when he runs. By the way, he's dropped 3% of body fat. He feels quicker. But to me, Coach, it's the intangibles. Yeah. You get into a game like this, top 10 opponent, playing at home, it's having a guy that's going to make good decisions, having a guy that's going to rally you at key moments. Having him there, I think, gives the rest of his teammates a belief, that, not a hope, a belief that they can win this game.
A nationally ranked LSU defense last year returns 8 starters. Mm-hmm. They got speed, gang tackling, and knock your head off.
Absolutely.
But now remember one thing, that defense helped Coach O to a 10-2 record against non-conference teams like this one. 10-2 record like this one.
I tell you
Just
what, Coach. Okay, I mean, is that a lean?
I know what you said.
A great piece on Sam, and he's just a gamer. But when Sam lines up on the offense, let me show you what he's going to have on the other side of the ball in the Bayou Bengals. This defense is aggressive. Dave Aranda, the defensive coordinator, he's very complicated with his schemes. They get Michael Divinity back. He's a versatile player. He's going to play Sam, Mike. He's going to put his hand in the dirt and put that spin move and try to get Sam in the backfield. And then Grant Delpit, maybe the best safety in all of college football. He processes information very fast, and watch how much ground he can cover with pretty good ball skills too. Delpit is going to be all over the field tonight, and Caleb Vaughn chasing. Watch this inside move. He's so quick. If he's getting held on this play right here, guys, watch this. That quick inside move, he would have made the tackle. He's going to try to wear out the tackles for Texas offense. This defense is going to be sophisticated. They're going to bring pressure, and they want to prove that they're the real DBU. Can't wait for the matchup tonight. Can't wait for it.
You know, Caleb on Chason's team beat Sam Ellinger's team for the state championship. That's high school football, but everybody knows that Tom Herman is great as an underdog, so I'm sure Bear's leaning that way. Bear, you going Tom Herman?
He is, but what people also might not know is that Coach O is great against top 10 teams not named Alabama.
Really?
5 games against top 10 teams not named Alabama, 5-0.
So what's Herman as an underdog?
It's 13-2-1 with 10 outright wins.
10 outright?
13-2-1 against the spread with 10 outright wins.
What are you picking? Who are you going with?
Something's got to give there, something does have to give with those two. I think LSU is the better team. So if I would not suggest betting on this game. Go either. No result would surprise me here. But if I had to, I would take Texas plus the 6.5. But I think LSU will win a close game.
almost said that right in their face there, Bear.
What you would bet on is Army and Michigan.
I would bet on Michigan minus the big number. Look, Army was a team last week that really struggled against Rice. 14 points. If you saw Wake Forest last night, over 500 yards, went up and down the field on Rice. Army couldn't do that. You need wide receivers and a deep threat to beat a Don Brown defense. They don't have that. I think you can find even a better number than 22 out there, but I think Michigan wins easy. I just want to know, do you think the Western Michigan or Central Michigan and AB's Central Michigan Chippewas can hang within the 35 at Camp Randall tonight? Did you hear AB might be asking for a release?
Antonio O'Brien. AB is Antonio O'Brien of the Oakland Raiders, in case you didn't know.
We might need a whole segment on old AB. He's had an interesting month.
Yes, he has.
Yeah.
Bear throws out Wisconsin. Rutgers and Iowa play a Big Ten game today. Staying away from that, too. Yeah, real fast.
Rutgers offense looked pretty good last week in the second half. They got going.
McLean Carter.
Today, though.
Look ahead game for Cyhawk maybe next week.
No, looking at maybe game day implications.
That's right.
Wait and see. Monday Night Football, the season gets ranked up. It'll be the Texans and Saints and the Broncos and the Raiders. Raiders have a little drama, haven't they?
Yeah.
I think Sammy and all the gang will be taking care of that on Sunday NFL Countdown. Checking in this week's Home Depot Pro Customer of the Week, Justin Lindenmuth. Lindenmuth Realty, his game day traditions were built here in Austin, Texas. It's time for the fourth quarter. Everybody's eyes on Trevor Lawrence. Howdy, Trevor, the Aggies will say to him today. Tom Rinaldi will talk with a Clemson superstar. You don't want to miss that. And look at all the titles. Matthew McConaughey, a Texan, Academy Award winner, Minister of Culture, Professor, and he will be guest picker joining LC. And you know what? There are a lot of ties between these two programs, including one of Texas' leaders, Malcolm Roach from Baton Rouge, who did a great thing for his hometown.
Me being from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, there's not a lot of people that get the opportunity I'm getting right now. My mom called me, I talked to her, asked her how Vacation Bible School was going. She said it's going good, but she said, I don't think the kids have shoes because they always wearing flip-flops.
So right away he said, okay, Mom, we can do this Kicks for Kids.
Once we got the flyer made on social media and I put it on Instagram, it blew up. It got like almost 2,000 likes in a day. And people just started donating till we got to about 330 pair of shoes. We ended up giving out 317. A little kid came up to me, she said, I just want to say thank you so much for this. And her mom said she didn't have any shoes to wear. Just being able to put some shoes on her feet for school, you know, little things go so far. And I just want to show them that you can make your own way. All you had to do is just have it in your heart and have it in your head, you know. Just seeing them come out and support me, it just put a smile on my face because I never would have thought I would have been able to do something like that. I never would have before. I can't wait to do it again next year. You know, we're going to make this an annual thing, and I know it's going to be big and bigger every year.
Penn State.
Wow, that's a big flag.
That's a flag.
That's a big flag.
Hey, wow. Look at that temperature upper left. That's the way Herbie likes it right now.
I love it. Go higher. Higher, I tell you.
Triple digits. Chilly in the rock.
Get something.
Look at these guys.
Get Jimmy G a coat.
That's
He's
funny.
freezing.
That is funny.
Jimmy G shivering, or is he trying to keep time with the music?
Yeah, it's definitely over 100
degrees. Hey, that's going to be a factor tonight. It's going to be 100 at kickoff. Over, and it's not going to get that much cooler. But both of these teams, they're used to these types of conditions, and we are used to having a big morning on College Game Day.
They do everything big in Texas.
This might be college football heaven right now.
If Texas is back, it starts tonight by beating LSU.
It's hard for those programs to stay down. It was a matter of time before Texas football was going to be good again, and I wanted to be a part of that.
Was there any concerns before you hit the field?
No concerns at all, you know. We're getting the ball out fast.
I've got a Texas-sized belt buckle. I've got the hat partner.
The Undertaker. You saw this sign. Oh, I tell you, this game's not the only one. Coach Zero Sugar counting us down to kickoff. Kelly Bryant put up big numbers, but a couple of turnovers, and Mizzou's lost to Wyoming. They've got West Virginia coming up.
All the preseason hype and talk about them being 8-0, getting ready for big games down the road. They better get focused trying to win their first game.
Yeah. Kelly Bryant had to save Clemson against Texas A&M last year, but it will be Trevor Lawrence who has the range for the entire game tonight. You know, Lawrence threw multiple interceptions against Georgia Tech in the opener for the first time in his career. Widespread panic did not ensue, but there were some fans who at least located the panic button should Lawrence not be perfect at some point during the future. But such is life when the prototypical quarterback is measured against you. Tom Rinaldi with Trevor Lawrence.
That was a good drive. Missed it a little left.
Rory McIlroy said, "I dreamed of becoming a great golfer. I never dreamed of all this other stuff."
I feel him for sure. You always dream growing up. I mean, if you're an athlete, you want to play professional, whatever sport you play. And you don't realize as a kid, you're naive to all the things that come with that.
Lawrence with the rush coming. Finds T. Higgins. Touchdown. That kid cannot be 19 years old.
At what moment, after you left Levi Stadium, did you realize your life had changed?
Probably not till I got back to Clemson and tried to live my life the same way I did before I left. It's just crazy. Having to stop pictures, do all this and that, I kind of had to change the way I went about my business for sure. So that was really the first moment I was like, dang, my life's different now that I came back from that game. You hear a lot of people say, I always wanted to be rich, but I never wanted to be famous, and I think that's a good explanation of what it is. People don't really understand it because people have never been in the situation, so they think, hey, one more picture here, that's fine, let me ask them for a picture. They don't see the 1,000 other people that have done that in the past week.
And here he goes. Zion! High above the rim.
He's probably the most athletic guy I've ever seen, just like play like in college sports.
What do you think of the attention, the level of attention he got, Trevor?
It's nuts. I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, I got a lot of attention, but compared to him, it's just, I wouldn't want to see what he has to deal with.
Zion is now a pro, and the most famous college athlete in the country is Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe. Going to school with all these people, they understand. It's not that surprising for them to see me in class or walking on campus. They're good about letting me go about my business, and they understand.
Oh, let's see it. Pressure. Pressure. Oh! People got a glimpse at your competitiveness in the off season. The clip during intramural basketball that went viral.
We were playing, guys been talking to really my whole team, and we kind of got into it a little bit, and one of my offensive linemen, and he was kind of getting into it with him, and then he came back at me with some other play, and that's kind of where that resulted from. I didn't think it was that bad. You know, it's just basketball, like that's gonna happen, but it was on TMZ, everything the next day, and I was like, oh shoot. This is how our world is, you know, everything's with social media and everything.
How did your team do?
We won the championship, so.
In sports, most athletes have three loves. They love to play, they love to compete, they love to win. If you accept that, which one do you love most?
I think competing, that'd be the main one. It's just like anything like practice. I love to go out there and practice. That's like my favorite part. It's just competing.
Why not winning?
That's just a product of what you put in. You know, it's like almost you expect to win. The work that we put in, I think just competing, the actual doing is the most fun part to me. All right, we're good.
As Trevor said, his life's changed, but Devil Sweeney's wife, Kathleen, had some great advice for him.
Yeah.
He can't go grocery shopping. It turns into picture day.
Right.
So she said, you got to go right before closing time. They'll probably even keep the store open late for him if they wanted to. But against Georgia Tech, wasn't perfect. We expected. It happens.
No, he was. You know what? On that clip right there, in that basketball game, you see that guy baited him into doing something that he didn't want to do? He baited him. I think Georgia Tech's defense did a really good job of baiting Trevor Lawrence into throws that he wished he had back. His pre-snap reads were off, and he threw some balls that you kind of scratch your head like, what was he looking at, or what did he see? Consistently, you would see guys run up under routes. Now, right here, they're in the red zone. He's looking to his left. He should try to hit that bang 8 right up the hash mark right there for a touchdown, but he goes out to the quick out as opposed to hitting the touchdown. No offensive coordinator in the world wants him to throw that route. They want a touchdown in the red zone. Right here, you'll see a defender. All of them are going to buzz out to the underneath route. Trevor does not see the defenders. That guy got hands on that ball. They were doing that consistently that night. Here it is another defender who's sitting on a route. Trevor doesn't see it. Easy pick for the defensive back. This is probably the most exciting play for Trevor tonight for me. That night for me was when he walked this guy down and saved the touchdown. So he's athletic. You saw him on the basketball court with Rinaldi. You see he's fast, but to me, his pre-snap reads were a little bit off, and he couldn't see the underneath defenders against Georgia Tech. He can ill afford to do that against Texas A&M today, Kurt.
Yeah, absolutely. You're talking about his athletic ability on the court. I couldn't see his because I was blinded by Rinaldi's athletic ability there. I was impressed. By the way, Tommy will be off of Flushing Meadows and back with Game Day next week. We look forward to that. I think that Kellen Mond's gotten a lot of attention this week, and he deserves that because of what he did last year. If you go back to that, this is what Brent Venables, I'm sure, has studied to understand. You know, Jimbo Fisher has had a chance to go up against Brent Venables 7 or 8 times, so they're very familiar with each other. Go back to Jimbo in his days at Florida State when they went up against Clemson and Venables often. So here's a too-high look. The vulnerability against the too-high look is attacking the middle of that defense between the safeties. Linebackers don't go with the tight end. It's getting down the middle of the field. And look at Kellen Mond. He doesn't hang this up in the air, throws it on a line between those safeties to give his tight end a chance. Just an awareness, man. We called this game. He was plugged in. Here's a run-pass option. He's looking at the safety. Safety comes down, you're going to pull it and throw it. If he stays back, you hand it off. Safety came down. Again, in rhythm, makes the read, gets the ball out before that safety comes in. Kayvon Wallace to be able to make a play on it. I just saw Kellen Mond feeling comfortable and confident. Here, Clemson brings more than they can handle, so what does he got to do? He knows he's got to get the ball to the tight end right now. If he gets rid of the ball, because of 7 guys rushing, nobody's there to pick up the tight end. And so it was a cat and mouse game between Venables as a defensive coordinator, Jimbo Fisher as a play caller, and his quarterback, Kellen Mond, who was dialed in that particular day. It's going to be a different deal today. At Death Valley, I know they don't have the same defense, but I think it's going to be a good chess match again between Venables and Jimbo Fisher and Kellen Mond.
To say A&M has a tough job to win at Clemson is an understatement.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to this, sweethearts. The last time A&M faced a top 5 non-conference team in a true road game was 42 years ago. 42 years ago. Bad sign. They lost the game.
Well, now, if you're thinking about picking A&M, you hear that, and you're not doing that anymore.
42 years ago.
Yeah, come on.
3:30 Eastern Time on ABC. This is an important game. The SEC took some lumps, at least the other side did. LSU here tonight against Texas. Alabama and Georgia have walkover games today. Alabama, New Mexico State. One other thing on Georgia. Georgia plays Murray State. Dedicating the field and naming it after Vince Dooley, who just turned 87 earlier this week. So happy birthday to Vince and congratulations on that. Coke Zero Sugar counting us down to kickoff, just under 36 minutes until Dino Babers wanders into the snake pit that is Maryland's home stadium. Terps and old Locks might have a little something.
Yeah, Mike Loxley has a great offense. I think they pulled back a little bit last week. They didn't really need to do anything. He's got Josh Jackson. He's got Anthony McFarland. So they've got a lot of weapons. Tommy DeVito, but needs to play much, much better than he did last week.
33 picks against Liberty last night.
I know.
That's tough. That's a tough look.
One thing, remember, Syracuse must win to get a long-awaited game day trip next week.
Yeah, it's just if Syracuse wins,
go Orange.
Really good shot to game days.
Yeah. They got to get it. They got to get it.
You're going to make a pick, take a wild hack here, and go ahead and make your pick?
Syracuse.
Syracuse.
Because I want to go there.
That's one of the few spots we've
Big
not
Orange.
been.
We've never been there.
Never been to the Carrier.
Put that big orange thing on my head.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be beautiful.
Over the Tigers.
Yeah.
You know, they beat them 2 years ago.
Okay, yeah.
They gave them all they could handle last year.
And I was being last year.
John Wildhack's got to be fired up, the AD there.
You better look out for that man right there, Josh Jackson, transfer from Virginia Tech. He played well. Now, it was just against Howard. I get that. So can you really judge him by that? But we know what he brings to the table anyway.
Veteran
we know how he played at Virginia Tech. I think he's going to have a big game, too.
Just over 34 minutes until kickoff. It is coming up on ESPN, Syracuse and Maryland. Let's take a look at our blimp-worthy performance presented by Goodyear. Josh Jackson probably rather forget this one. It was Old Dominion knocking off Virginia Tech. Blake LaRussa had himself a day. Monarchs took a 42-35 lead.
It's one of those scores you're like, really? This really is happening?
Well, we saw how that came apart in terms of team chemistry and everything. All those guys in the
Trayvon Hill left after that game.
Yeah, they're trying to fix that. So now on ESPNU, streaming live on the app, Bud Foster's final season as defensive coordinator got lit up by ODU last year. A little something, a little payback.
He got beat up last week.
Yeah,
he did.
BC.
Against Super Dog pick.
Exactly.
No, I don't want to say anything.
Oh, of course not. No.
There's the Kansas transfer, Ryan Willis. Had 3 picks as well. Now he put up numbers, 3 touchdowns, ball security. Issue.
Virginia Tech is still trying to find themselves with this new era. We were so spoiled under the Frank Beamer era and what they did year in and year out, the NFL players that they had. They're still just trying to fill that roster up, giving them a chance to be competitive in the ACC.
They used to have great defenses and excellent special teams.
That's on ESPNU in just over half an hour. Cincinnati and Ohio State coming, and so too is South Carolina and Charleston Southern. That is Ryan Helinski, going to make his first start for the Gamecocks. He, of course, is the brother of Tyler Helinski, the former Washington State quarterback who passed away by suicide a little less than a couple years ago. Helinski's Hope is a charity that promotes mental health awareness and reduces the stigma among college athletes. He'll be honoring Tyler and wearing that same number in Tyler's school, Washington State. Old Crimson making his 228th consecutive game day side appearance, and perhaps next week, see what happens. We'll also have a new place to visit. Old Crimson there. Hey, you guys remember this?
I do remember that.
Kurt, Casey Studdard.
Yes.
Rushing the set.
That was back in 1923, that look right there.
As after that was after the national championship, and now
what's up, man?
Here he comes again.
Wow, look at that.
Look at that. From Whitfield's Restaurant.
What do we have here?
What do we have? Tailgate. We got brisket, ribs.
What's this?
Quail.
This cannot be banana pudding.
Brisket. I had last night.
Quail right here.
You guys, how do you what do you do with this fish over here?
Great.
You guys enjoy that brisket over there.
What's up, man?
Hey, man, how are you? It's got a jalapeno in it.
Last night I had that. Terrific.
Oh, my God.
Good stuff here. Good stuff, my man. Yes, sir.
LC going to put on the headgear.
Yes, I can't wait.
Bevo or Mike the Tiger? No lean yet. Picks coming, and Matthew McConaughey will join LC for a headgear pick.
It can seem unreachable.
I think it's time to let go. It's September, but this feels like a playoff elimination game. I let you all know. It's time to let go.
All right.
AT&T Best Performer providing a look at Justin Fields. Getting ready for Ohio State. They'll play Cincinnati. Comes up top of the hour on ABC. You know, he didn't have any contact in camp. So after they played, come to the FAU last week, he said, man, I was crazy sore. FAU was after the first quarter of dealing with this dude. He had a QBR of nearly 93.
Well, if he was sore after week 1 in FAU, wait till Luke Fickell and the boys come to town today, because they're going to force Justin Fields to have to throw to win this game. They're not going to let him run. Just try to take away his ability to run the football and make him throw to win.
Coke Zero Sugar counting us down to kickoff. They ain't Coke Zero Sugar counting us down. Chase Young, he might make somebody sore. Maybe Desmond Ridder, maybe Michael Warren.
Bad man.
Ryan Day with Allison Williams.
Coach Day, your Ohio State team got off to such a quick start last week, but I know they didn't finish quite the way you wanted them to. How did you address that this week?
Well, it was a really great start, and we want to start fast again. Noon kickoff, got to come out swinging, but then we got to be able to sustain it throughout 60 minutes. We know it's going to take it all the way to the fourth quarter in this week, and so we've been preparing that way, talking about it all week, and that's what we got to do.
Your quarterback, Justin Fields, will make his second start today. 5 TDs last week, but where do you want to see improvement from him today?
Just to continue to manage the game well. I thought he did that. There's some things protection-wise and a few things he's got to kind of learn and work through. And the more reps you get, the better he's going to be. But again, we got to take care of the ball first. Explosive plays will come. He can't go out looking for home runs. They'll come as long as he just manages the offense.
Ryan, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
I got to tell you, J.K. Dobbins, they might see that Bearcat defense.
Cincinnati's pressure defense will challenge the Buckeyes. In the opener, Cincinnati beat Chip Kelly's UCLA team by holding them under 200 yards total offense.
Wow.
Now watch the Bearcats. Reckless abandon and takes a chance. Why?
Yeah.
Hey, why not?
Yeah.
They're playing Ohio State.
Yeah. Well, they have to lose,
yeah,
right?
and I thought it was an interesting comment there with the interview with Allison. And Ryan Day said he had a little bit of issues with protection, which tells you he got deked. He got faked out on. They showed one look and went to another. It's exactly what Cincinnati does.
Exactly.
Cincinnati is going to try, especially on third down, confuse the protection and see if they can get after Justin Fields. Luke Fickell saw that same thing on film.
Yeah, they recorded 6 sacks against the Bruins, and you know one thing about the Cincinnati Bearcats. It's not going to be too big for them. This moment is not going to be too big for them. Luke is going to have his guys ready. They're going to challenge the Buckeyes early and often.
Did you take points?
I think it's closer than that. I think it's closer.
I'm taking the points. Yes, sir. Bearcats and the points.
And we'll find out if you actually picked them to win outright.
Oh, this is not your typical Ohio State versus just some random team at Ohio. This is a top 25 type of team from Cincinnati by the time we get to the end of the year.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people are saying that this game is the biggest one at Texas since Ohio State came calling. These two teams, LSU and Texas, have all kinds of connections. LSU defensive coordinator Dave Aranda roomed with Tom Herman while they were at Cal Lutheran. Herman's DC Todd Orlando once succeeded Aranda at Utah State. He recommended Herman hire Orlando. Herman is the man that pounded the table at Ohio State and demanded that the Buckeyes sign Joe Burrow, and now here he is at LSU. Herman never coached Burrow. He'll sure coach against him tonight.
Burrow throws over the top, and he's got it. Touchdown, Jamar Chase.
It was great last week. We scored a lot of points, but we got to come back this week and do it again.
We're fired up to go in there and give it all we got. They're a great team. They're exotic on defense, bring a lot of different blitzes. I think we'll be up to the challenge.
We've got to mix the looks up at them from time to time to hopefully allow a little doubt to creep in.
Pass tipped by Green, picked off. Joseph Osai down the sideline to the 30-yard line.
Just the type of offenses that we have in the Big 12. We're used to speed. We're used to seeing receivers like that run down the field all day long.
I feel like we come out there very confident. I think it's going to be a great matchup.
And I think this offense enables us to win more football games. I'm excited about that.
Bear mentioned this earlier. Top 10 teams not named Alabama, LSU has had a great deal of success. Will that success continue tonight? Maria and David look ahead.
Well, Reese, certainly some of that depends on whether or not LSU's new and improved offense with Coach O, he's described as a Ferrari, really shows up here in Austin.
Ferrari, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. Well, it looked like a Ferrari against Georgia Southern.
Boom.
This isn't Georgia Southern. That's what I want to see with this offense. But so many unique things that I saw at LSU. I'm just so typical of them being in the old world of fullbacks and pound, in the RPO game. This is very comfortable for Joe Burrow. Look at this. He's reading one defender. Watch him right here. It's a very easy read. Look at him read the backer, come in the box, safety come in the box. Look at that pinpoint accuracy. It was a great throw, great timing, great rhythm. Spread the field. How about concept for LSU's offense? Look at this. Routes at different levels, attacking the defense all over the field. New, unique, not used to seeing levels concepts for LSU. Great job of Joe Burrow. Again, seeing where the open spaces. Look what the open grass is. Throw it to a guy, have a lot of people out in routes. You haven't seen a lot. And then this was the craziest part, LSU's tempo. Watch this. These guys are used to being the walk back to the line of scrimmage, not hurry up. Right after the play, everybody's offensive linemen don't love this, by the way.
No, not at all.
Running back to the line. Let's get set up. Everybody get ready. Look at Joe Burrow. Give me the ball. Ref, get out of the way. Give me the ball. Usually the play clock runs down to under 5 seconds, and they used to take a pound of flesh with you, but now they want to be hurry up, like Texas is used to seeing.
Yeah, well, Texas is going to see it firsthand tonight at 7:30.
Yeah.
Who are you going to go with?
I mean, this is going to be awesome, right? This is going to be a great non-conference showdown. Texas fans are jacked. They're excited. They probably think they're going to win, but...
Of course they do.
I think LSU's going to win.
Wow.
Hey, here's the thing. I think LSU's defense can make it harder on Texas's offense. I think they got too many guys in the secondary. They can play man cover. Colin Johnson's going to have to play huge in the back end and make a ton of plays, but I just think LSU's going to score enough points and they're going to win.
Jordan crying face on Bevo.
Look at Bevo.
That's what he's going with.
He's upset.
That's what's going to happen, Reese, according to David.
We'll see if he's right. We've talked about this LSU offense, but what about the Texas defense and the problems they can pose?
I know Texas defense, under Todd Orlando, this guy is a complex defensive coordinator. He's going to bring some exotic blitzes. But to me, the talent right now is on the back end. Their safeties. They're young at the cornerback position, so you know the safeties have to be head up. Watch these guys. You're talking about Brandon Jones and Caden Stearns. Right here, diagnosing the play, realizing where they're going with the ball, follow the cornerback's eyes, and then an athletic play by Caden Stearns. Watch him jump up and catch the ball. A lot of defensive backs, especially safeties, aren't able to make that play. One thing I like about Jones, he's a short tackler. He doesn't miss a lot of tackles. They like to bow up in the red zone. Watch this. He's at the safety position. He runs down the tailback and knocks him out before he gets to the blue line. Not only did he not score, but he didn't get the first down. And you're talking about just technique. This is tackling one-on-one. Watch Brandon. He breaks down in the hole. He gets his head in front. He wraps the ball carrier. He's low, and then watch the leg drive just to make sure that he doesn't cross the goal line. He drives his feet. Watch that. These guys are sure tacklers. They're ball hawks, and it all starts to me in the back end. So the real DBU might show up tonight, and it might just be the Longhorns.
Wow.
Yeah.
Been a lot of fun seeing that go back and forth. I can't really wait to watch Sam Ehlinger and this offense from Texas have a chance to go up against a very, very athletic LSU defense, and a combination of different things when it comes to Texas and what they're trying to do tonight. Number one is Colin Johnson. Number 9, you'll see him into the boundary more often than not. Reason they put him there, if they get one high safety like this, it's one-on-one, he's got to win. He's 6'6", he high points the ball outstanding, and the matchups against the LSU corners will be epic tonight for Johnson. Sam Ehlinger, short yardage, red zone. They've had some issues with tailback as far as the depth. Don't forget about 11 in these situations. They run a power play where he can keep it, and he's a physical, tough runner. He'll run right into the teeth of the LSU defense. Here's who he's going up against. These corners live on islands. The veteran is Fulton. He's number 1 now. Last year he wore 25. He's got a very, very 22 rather. He wears a very, very athletic approach in how he approaches one-on-one. I think Grant Telford has a chance to be the best player, one of the top in the country. Dez showed you his range. Watch his vision and instincts. They almost let him just play center field, play backyard ball, read the quarterback's eyes. Rashard Lawrence, the best in the inside. Keep an eye on him as far as getting pressure on Sam, winning one-on-one. He's got to be able to get penetration. If he does that, it could be a long night for Texas. So what makes LSU so good is look at quarterbacks, what they've tried to do last year, completion percentage. You go down and you look at the off-target percentage, which is a combination of the pass rush and the coverage. This is one of the best defenses in the country. They're coming after them.
To beat Texas, LSU has got to have another special game with special teams, like they did last week.
Yeah, good point.
Derek Stingley returned his first punt for 32 yards and set up a touchdown.
Okay.
Place kicker Jed York kicked 2 for 2 on field goals. And listen to this. Punter Zach Von Rosenberg averaged 50 yards a kick. If Texas wins the game, they'll win the special teams.
Right.
If LSU wins the game, it'll be the special team. The team with the special teams will win this game.
It'll be a close game.
Close game.
Close game.
Always go to special teams.
That's right.
Special teams, go with them no matter what. Go with them.
So you're holding which
you,
way you're leaning for when we get ready to make the pick.
Right
and the
now.
headgear pick, right?
Next segment.
Coming up.
Coming up. Secret.
It's a secret? You know it's not a secret? Hey.
Is that a Lincoln?
Dude, if you are the minister of culture, that is how you arrive. Matthew McConaughey. Oh, hook 'em. Take it easy, baby. Slow ride into the pick, the College Game Day guest picker.
Ready to upgrade your appliance? College Game Day is built by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. And in part by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
All right.
Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, the best part of every kickoff. The drive that comes next. Go further with Goodyear, more driven. Checking on the Game Day check down. Last minute news you might not be aware of. Wisconsin's got some guys who will be missing against Central Michigan. Puka Williams will be back for Les Miles after his suspension for domestic battery. Amari Rogers, less than 6 months after an ACL. Dabo's hopeful.
Yeah.
How about that? He'll be able to go against
Incredible.
A&M.
Yeah. Incredible.
And the Aggies going to be a little bit different, as we mentioned in the defensive secondary. No Renfro. They might have 2 new starters.
Uh-oh.
Look at LC.
He's not saying anything. When you lose, say little. When you win, say less. He's not talking.
No, I need Bear to move those lines off those even numbers. I got the push last week.
Thanks, Oregon. Yeah, they messed me up last week. So I'm going to North Texas. They're playing at SMU. Watch out for Mason Fine, the quarterback for North Texas. Going to have a big game, so I'm going with North Texas. I got to get a W, man.
Now, this is strictly the number.
Yeah.
Not the outright. It's the number.
Exactly.
All right, I'm going big here. I'm going big. I got Tulane and Auburn, 17.5. Tulane can throw the football around. Auburn with that big emotional win last week. They're going to win, but it might be a little sleepy at Jordan Hare.
You wasn't impressed with Bo Nix,
I'm impressed with him,
no.
but I just think the atmosphere.
Come on.
And they're not going to respect Tulane.
Hey,
So I
okay.
think Tulane's
Copy.
sleepy.
Okay.
LC, you got Coach.
I got Texas State lost to A&M by 34 last week. Wyoming beat Missouri, but they will have a letdown when they get to St. Marcus, Texas. Texas Tech wins this win outright again.
Wow.
Watch it.
Okay.
Come on, Texas State.
I had a couple teams, neither of them were any good last week. They both didn't play well. UAB won, Akron didn't, lost at Illinois. But I'm going to say that the Zips of Tom Arth, they get a few guys back, young team. They're going to take it. Now it's down to 8.5. Bear, you move it. It's like 9.5.
Bear gave you that one.
Board.
All right, way to go, Bear. I'll still go Akron with 8.5 is my super dog against UAB. UAB going.
Look at the
on
scene
road.
here in Austin.
What?
What do we say, Austin, Texas?
The Saturday selections brought to you by Coors Light. We got the standings so far. Now, Michael Irvin had a limited slate to work with.
It struggled.
Yeah, he did.
And he still struggled. He only had 4 games.
I was able to go 8-3. We're glad to have Matthew McConaughey, our friend, with us, and
my God,
the Minister of Culture here at the University of Texas. This is an idea. This is more than just like an honorary title. You're involved here, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell me about it.
Well, teaching a class that I created over at the College of Communication called Script to Screen. Minister of Culture work is basically, for me, about aligning values that it takes to make a champion on the field with the same values that it takes to make champions of these young men and women that aren't on the field.
Yeah, they've done a great job with it.
Y'all play sports, the same things that make you win on the field, you can take into life and still be a champion.
That's great. All right, let's see if we can pick some winners today and start with our selections. Let's go with former Texas coach Charlie Strong, USF against Georgia Tech.
Ooh, I'm going Georgia Tech. They bounced back after that Clemson loss, yeah.
We got another bounce back on the other side, Mr. Charlie Strong.
Yeah, that was
hopefully
big
they got
loss.
it out of their system last week, and I'm going with fighting Charlie Strong's. Come on.
Okay.
Not so fast. Georgia Tech beat Charlie Strong. Not so fast.
I'm going Georgia Tech. I mean,
too.
Georgia Tech, athletic, as far as the backfield quarterback made some plays against Clemson. I got Georgia Tech.
All right, ESPN, 7 o'clock Eastern time, BYU, Tennessee. Speaking of bounce back needs.
Yeah, talk about bounce back. I think, well, Tennessee was beat mentally and physically. I think they will bounce back in a close game against BYU. Do not take BYU for granted. Close game, but Tennessee wins this one.
Yeah.
Isn't this a mental game, an effort game?
Oh, big time.
I mean, on both sides, even more for Tennessee. Here
No
comes
doubt about
Tennessee
it.
into the season. We are reborn.
Absolutely. All over it.
Lady Egg, what are we doing? What has happened in the minds there in Tennessee and Knoxville over this last week?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I know BYU. I'm betting BYU does show up to play.
Yeah.
I'm going to take BYU.
Wow.
Oh, man, not so fast.
Love that.
Let me tell you, I almost bought a Lincoln because of your commercial.
It's a good purchase, sir.
Didn't. Tennessee. Hey.
He's out on the limb here on these picks. I love it. First two.
Well.
I'm going to go with Tennessee. Coming back home, as Matthew just hit the nail on the head. They've been talking about changing and going in a better direction. They lose to Georgia State. It's a desperation win today for Tennessee. They can't afford to lose.
Noon on ABC, Cincinnati, Ohio State.
We've talked about the Bearcats all show long. I think they're going to challenge Ohio State. Luke Fickell's going to have his team ready. The moment is not going to be too big, but just too many athletes for Ohio State. Ohio State wins this game.
Ditto on that, Desmond.
Yep.
I'm with you on that.
Okay.
I think Ohio State's too much.
All right, Coach?
Ditto on that. Ohio State got too many players, offense.
I think Fields is going to have to make some throws. I think Luke Fickell's determined to stop the ability to run. I think Justin Fields makes some throws. He's got some phenomenal young receivers. They get it done today.
And same deal, Army, Michigan, too many athletes for the Wolverines?
Too many athletes, but I don't know about the mistakes that they make on offense. If they're going to be able to continue to do that against Army. I think Michigan will win. I do not think they're going to cover, though.
Desmond, you're reading my mail.
Come on, come on,
I'm with
man.
you on the same thing. I say no cover, but a Wolverine victory.
Yeah.
Hey, Matthew, you're reading my mail. Too many points, Michigan.
You didn't read my mail. I think Michigan's tired of hearing about Army. Yeah. The close call last year against OU. I don't think they can move the ball against Don Brown's defense. I like Michigan to win big.
As soon as we finish here, Syracuse and Maryland.
Tommy DeVito, Syracuse quarterback, is going to have a bounce-back game. He struggled a week ago against Liberty. I like Syracuse in the close one against Maryland because we really don't know how good Maryland is. They just blew Howard out of the waters last week.
Okay, now I've got inside info.
Come on,
It's a lock.
Yeah.
It's a lock for the Fighting Scott Van Pelt.
Oh, yeah.
The Terrapins from Maryland.
Okay.
I'm taking them.
The Terps for Scotty Van Pelt.
Not so fast, my friend. Keep living. Keep living. Keep living. Syracuse, big upset.
I think for game day, we're pulling for Syracuse.
Yeah,
never had a chance to be there for the show. I think Syracuse, actually, their quarterback, Tommy DeVito, is going to bounce back. Didn't have a great game last week. They played well enough to win today.
Lox appreciates that, I'm sure. Nebraska and Colorado.
This was a tough one for me. I think just because they're at home, I'm going with the Buffs to beat Nebraska, so I'm going Colorado.
I like what Rick George, the AD at Colorado, is doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with the Buffaloes, too. I think they're a tad under the radar, maybe not getting the respect they can get right now. I know it's early in the season. I got the Buffaloes of Colorado taking the victory over the Cornhuskers here.
We should teach a class.
Not so. Nebraska beats. What was that? I don't know. You told me to do that.
I'm glad he saved you on that one.
You told me to do that.
I said, that'd be a good one.
Do it again.
I'm going Nebraska. I think Nebraska was peeking ahead to this game last week. I think Adrian Martinez plays well enough. This could be the most spirited game of the day. Chippy. But I like Nebraska to win on the road.
UCF and FAU?
I think UCF's going to win this game. I believe FAU is a little beat up after the Ohio State game, so I got UCF.
I got UCF rolling as well.
Good pick. Nice going. They got their 27th straight regular season win today.
Good stuff.
UCF.
I'm with you guys. UCF.
All right. On the ACC network, it'll be Miami and North Carolina. Mac Brown make it 2-0?
No, they're going to be 1-1. I like the Canes in this game. I think the Canes show that they have the athletes. They just can't make the little stupid mistakes that they made against Florida. I think they bounce back after a bye week. I'm going Canes.
Couple of things here. Okay. Mac Brown has a victory last week against one of his former defensive coordinators, Will Muschamp.
Yes, sir.
Now this week, who we got?
Another DC.
Another DC. Manny Diaz.
That's right.
If the Tar Heels can catch their breath after the victory they had last week, which was emotional, Mac's first game, if they caught their breath, press reset, I'm going with the Tar Heels and Mac Brown today.
Appreciation for Mac.
That's a really good pick. All right. I'm going Miami by one field goal.
One field goal. Okay, good stuff. I'm going to go. I don't know if North Carolina, with the young team that they have, if they're going to be able to handle that prosperity. I'm betting on Miami to get it done. Jaron Williams, big day today throwing the football.
All right, nightcap on ESPN, 10:30 Eastern, Stanford SC.
Both teams bringing backup quarterbacks into this game. I think I'm going to go with Stanford. I like David Shaw's team. I'm going with Stanford.
I hear you. This is a tough one. We got backup quarterbacks. So how much is Helton coaching for his JOB?
Yeah, a whole lot.
Yeah, a whole lot, man. And I know we've said this before. It's not the first time it's been said. But I'm going to say I'm going to go with the Trojans to play for him and line it up against a tough Stanford team.
I hear you. But I tell you what, Stanford, the running game, big upset. They're underdog by 1 point. So it's a big upset.
I think they are playing for him. I think Clay Helton has I want to see who's going to use their backup quarterback and be aggressive.
Yeah.
Because the tendency is to rely on your defense and field position, low scoring game, close game. But I think SC finds a way at home and win.
And they're more in a position with nothing to lose right now when that freshman quarterback comes in. Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's start ripping.
ABC 3:30. It'll be Clemson and A&M.
No, I really want to pull the trigger on the Aggies. I really think they match up very well against Clemson. I didn't like what I saw with out of Trevor Lawrence in the first game against Georgia Tech, so I think he bounces back, have a Heisman-type game. I'm going with the Clemson Tigers over the Aggies.
Yeah, here's what I got. So we got a close call last year at Kyle Field, and we know what Clemson went on to do. I think there's still a little bit of a thorn in Clemson's britches from that, and also how much A&M talked about that, and how much it has been talked about, and also people in their locker room saying we're going to do it, and we're going to beat you this year.
Right. Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence did have a little rush last week. I think it is a bounce-back week. I think Clemson's got too much, and I think that for real, the Tigers will beat the Aggies.
Hey, great. Hey, that was a great job. I like that pick. I like it. And let me tell you something. You think I'm crazy to pick A&M here?
No,
no, sir.
No chance. Clemson, I'm with you. Too much talk about what happened last year, how close it was. They're going to come out to prove a point. I think Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, the balance and the big playability, Clemson.
And then the game tonight, LSU and Texas. They haven't played in the regular season in more than a half a century, but they share recruiting battles and territories and a nice, healthy disdain for each other.
This is about as big a regular season game as we'll have this year.
This is a great rivalry, LSU, Texas, Louisiana, Texas.
Big 12 versus SEC, two big programs, two historic programs.
Anytime we go out of the conference, we really want to show that the SEC is the best conference in all of college football.
You can't really know which conference is better until we line up and play.
This is why you come to LSU.
And this is why you come to the University of Texas to play in big-time games like this. Two incredible programs competing at the beginning of the season. What more could you ask for?
Kirk and I calling the game. No pick for Herbie. You have one.
Listen, it comes down to running the ball. You have to run the ball against LSU's defense. Texas offensive coaches, they will tell you the same thing. They come in short-handed at the running back position. That's why I think LSU will win this game.
LSU. Everybody picking LSU. Pollock, you, the Bear.
Come on.
What do you got?
To me.
Yep.
Here we go! All right, so this is my favorite non-conference matchup in college football.
Yes.
I love this matchup. I've loved this matchup before we even had this matchup.
Okay.
I think it was 2002 that we had it.
Yeah.
Here we go. So, Texas versus the Louisiana State, LSU Tigers. It's going to be vicious. There's going to be some grace. We're going to have touch passes to Colin Johnson. We're going to have grace there. But it's going to be a bloody battle.
That's right. Yep.
And that's what we're here to do tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming to our house, Tigers. Tonight, we will send you home as 29-27 losers. The University of Texas Longhorns. Victorious tonight. Austin, Texas. Let's get it on. Hook 'em, baby.
All right, LC, you love. Wow, let's
Yeah.
hear
What do you got?
Hey, I know Texas is a special place for you. Me too. My son David has a law degree from the University of Texas.
Yeah.
And we both love this song.
Oh,
let's Texas song. What is it?
Hey!
Are upon
Who's that, Bevo? We got
all the long day. The eyes of Texas are upon you. You cannot get away.
Wait. What's that other song? You love that other song, too.
Wait,
That other song.
another song? I like this song better. Hold that tiger.
They don't know that. They don't know that one. They don't know that one. Come on, baby.
The eyes of Texas are upon you.
Against him, Syracuse and